It is the Friday edition. Does anyone on Wilde and Tausch work around here other than me edition? The not one, but two cousin subs of the day edition. Wow, we've got a Packers Hall of Famer on most days, or some days. Today we've got an Olympic gold medalist edition. And I have some questions, and I think Matt Hamilton is just the guy to help me with this. Which non-traditional sports should I be watching during the Olympics? Because Lord knows his sport is a non-traditional sport. And how should I feel about Coldplay? I'll explain a little bit later in the program edition of Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 100.5 ESPN Madison, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, ESPNWisconsin.com, the ESPN app, your Alexa smart speaker, streaming live video. Right here. Here I am. There he is too. We're working on Twitter, but Facebook and YouTube for sure right now. And of course, everything you need on WisconsinOnDemand.com and the Wisconsin On Demand app. I'm Jason Wilde in Green Bay. Jesse Nelson is on assignment. So our cousin sub of the day in the Everlight Solar ESPN Madison studios is the great Hunter Vaughn. Hunter, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing well. Excited to be working with you and Matt today.
I'm excited too, and I can't wait for more trivia about Gerald Ford. That is a staple. I certainly hope that that'll be the category again today. And of course, as the aforementioned Hall of Famer is out, I think he comes back Thursday of next week, maybe Wednesday. I just know he'll be back eventually. So in as our cousin sub of the day for Tausch, it is the Olympic gold medalist, or as Jesse likes to call him, fourth place finisher. And he is in his Olympic regalia, representing the red, white, and blue of the USA. It is Matt Hamilton, normally the host of Jim, Matt, and Molly weekdays on ESPN Madison. Matthew, good morning. What a treat this is for me.
Yeah, I'm glad you are thrilled. I'm thrilled to be here, so I'm glad you're mirroring my energy. So pumped to be here. Opening ceremonies today. Literally maybe the coolest part of the Olympics. So it's going to be fun. I think it starts at like 12:30 in the afternoon today. So, and it's 4 hours long, predicted.
I will be in the locker room when it begins, but maybe I'll be out of there if it's 4 hours long before it ends. Wait a minute now, though, because before we get into anything else, I'm already look. I don't know how you got started in this. I know Tausch and I used to have you on the show while you were still like a food tester or whatever the hell it was you did professionally other than curling.
Yeah.
But as you know, I am a stickler for word choice. It is both part of my charm and one of the things that irritates the guy who's normally in your chair. But you said possibly the coolest part of the Olympics is the opening ceremonies.
Yeah.
You won a gold medal.
Well, no, that's why I'm saying
that's cooler.
For most
right?
Olympians that go there, like most of them don't win. So it's possibly the coolest part of the Olympics.
Okay, all right.
Like last time in Beijing, that was the coolest part of the Olympics.
Yeah, that's
when it was in Korea.
Finisher.
Yeah, I like Korea's medal ceremony better.
So, all right, so take us through, because I've got all kinds of, look, we're going to talk plenty of Packers. We're going to talk plenty of Jordan Love. But I do have a myriad of Olympic-related questions, and this is a different platform for you. Jim, Matt, and Molly, formerly known as Rutledge and Hamilton, until they added some real talent in Molly Brown.
Needed talent.
You people listen to you every weekday 4 to 6 on ESPN Madison. They would hear all of your stories of the Olympiads that you have attended as a competitor, and you've been to some as a fan, right? You've got some sort of like all access pass because you're a gold medalist, right? You just hold up the medal and they let you go wherever you want at whatever Olympics you go to. Is that how that works?
It's not even, you don't even have to be a medalist. If you're once you're Team USA, you can get into any Team USA event, essentially. But I have not actually gone as a fan to like an Olympics I wasn't competing in. I went as a fan to like the hockey game during the Winter Olympics I was competing in, but I've never actually used that like, lifetime ticket to the Olympics if you can show up. I'm waiting for LA for that.
Okay, I was going to say, when do you intend to do that? Because I thought maybe you'd be doing Jim, Matt, and Molly from Paris beneath the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah.
That is not the case.
Not until we win Best in Madison do we have the budget to send me to Paris.
Okay, well, so it's going to be a while.
It might be a while.
So, all right. So, why are the opening ceremonies possibly the coolest thing about the Olympics? And what do you remember from your Olympic opening ceremonies, and what should we be excited about today? Because you clearly are excited about it.
Right. So, okay, I'll peel the curtain back a little bit. So, it's a lot of fun. Like everybody, first of all, you get like the coolest outfits, and at first everyone goes to like this like staging area. You get on a bus and they take you to like a main staging area. Sometimes it's an arena, sometimes it's this like giant tent. And you're hanging out with literally all the other athletes in like a giant room. So like it's fun to go mingle. Like everyone's got their like home base to set up where they're like, okay, Team USA sits here, But then you like kind of go around and mingle and get to like, chat with some of your competitors, talk to other athletes from other countries in different sports. Like it's a really interesting feeling of like you all have a common interest, but everyone's got a different background, and it's a really like cool scenario.
I feel like you'd be a gold medal winning mingler. You're really good with people. You're charming. You're likable. I'm going to stop with the compliments.
I'm really coming out of my shell, so it took some time. It took some time.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's super neat, Wildy. But the problem is it's very much like an airport. It's hurry up and wait. Like, hurry up, get on the bus, go into this, like, pavilion, and then wait here for, like, 2.5 hours till you're ready to go. And then we're going to start taking the countries for the march, and it's going to be France first, and then it's going to go Algeria.
Azerbaijan.
Yeah, right? So then, like, as Team USA, you're like, well, I probably got another hour and a half before I got to, like, line up, which is super important to a lot of people because they all try and hustle to the front of the line. Sure. You get to the spot and you start walking towards the stadium, and everyone's jockeying for position because you want to be up front or close to an edge maybe so you can be seen by a camera or your friends back home so you can wave. And then you get to that like entrance and the lights are on so bright, and there's like, for me in Beijing, they had these little like lights in front of the seat. So like LED lights, so you would see like Team USA scroll across the stadium where the fans are sitting. So like it's pretty incredible in this feeling. You're in this stadium, and then Team USA comes on, and you start marching out, and yeah, I feel like I described it yesterday. I felt like I was floating, right? You ever walked for a really long time in a day, and then like sat down for a little bit and got back up and started to walk, and you just felt like it was way easy and it was like effortless. That's kind of what it feels like when you go around because you've got so much adrenaline pumping, and it's one of the very few times as an athlete where you get to be a part of like Team USA. When there's the World Championships for basketball, like sure, you're Team USA, but you're just with other basketball players. Like this is an opportunity where you're amongst so many different people from your country, different shapes, sizes, backgrounds, ethnicities. You're in this like giant melting pot of people who have the same goal, and that's to represent the United States and get a gold medal. And yeah, it's like a crazy. I've got chills kind of just describing it right now. So it's a lot of fun, and you won't realize how great it is until it's over 2 weeks later when you're on your way back home.
So of course I'm going to have follow-ups because that's what I do. First of all, you said that they were jockeying for position.
Yeah.
How good of a jockeyer were you? And because I am Google image searching you.
Well, you'll find me in 22. My teammate was the flag bearer, so we made sure we were right behind in the front row.
Okay, so I've got there's a lot of pictures of you on the internet, by the way. Just so you know, more than I anticipated, frankly. So how did you do in terms of getting airtime on the opening and or closing ceremonies?
Hunter, real quick, Hunter, greatest photo from the Olympics. If you can go to my Facebook page, one of my old backgrounds, my sister took it. It's got right the moment we walk out to the stadium, and you can see the five of us are like lined up, ready to go out in the opening ceremonies. It's the most applicable picture to this conversation, and it's amazing. It was the best photo I think I've seen from that 2022 Olympics. Anyway, Jason, what'd you say?
I'm Facebook friends with you now. You got me looking forward for it. How effectively did you find yourself on television during the opening and or closing ceremonies?
So I didn't actually go back and watch the opening or closing ceremonies on either of them, but I did. There's obviously a lot of photos. There's a Team USA calendar that came out after the 2018 ones, and we were just kind of shuffled in the middle. I didn't understand the game of shuffling for position my first Olympics. So we were just kind of stuck in the middle, and I was able to, where's
Rookie
Waldo
mistake.
myself. Yeah.
Yeah, rookie mistake, sure.
But the second go-around, we were in the front. We were right behind our teammate, John Schuster, who was the flag bearer for the Winter Olympics. And, yeah, it was great. It was the great spot to be. You found it. Well done, Hunter.
I'll have that up momentarily.
I knew we could count on Hunter to get that done. All right, so one more thing about this, and then we will move forward and we'll talk about your Packers fandom and your concerns about Jordan Love, because I feel like I'm being inundated with people now who, after 3 practices and 4 days of camp, are starting to get very apprehensive about his hold in during training camp. But you said it's the most memorable, most whatever. Are people tipsy during this? Like, is there some partying going on before either the opening or closing ceremony on their way in or on their way out? Because it does appear that people are having a lot of fun when I'm watching them.
Yeah, I will say I didn't have any fun. I mean, it was a lot of fun, but I didn't need any fun enhancing drinks prior to either opening or closing ceremonies. So technically, both of the Olympic villages I played in were dry, quote unquote. The U.S. men's hockey team, you could always count on sneaking in a ton of beer. So I wasn't. I mean, sure, there's some times to get down, but I personally wasn't going to do it when, 3 billion people are watching on TV and it's the opening ceremonies of the Olympics. So I was not going to take that chance.
So and again, we're a family show.
Yeah.
So I will choose my words carefully on this, never knowing who might be listening. But so they distribute, for lack of a better term, protection.
Yes.
If you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
But there's no beer.
Again, it is supposed to be, but they don't really enforce it. In 2022, Team Canada had like 3 pallets of Molson sent into the village, into their little, like, their apartment, their Olympic Village apartment building, and obviously they didn't stop it. So, and like Team USA hockey, these guys didn't even like bring it over. They went to like a hotel within that like COVID bubble, because I was in that COVID Olympics in Beijing.
Right.
There was another hotel within like the safe bubble, so to speak, and they brought like a suitcase, mind you, that I could fit into, and I'm a big human.
You're not small.
They filled that with beer and did it about 3 times. They went to a hotel and told them to fill this suitcase with beer. And yeah, they walked it right through security. They sent the suitcase through a normal like bag scanner like you would at an airport, which is how you get in and out of the Olympic Village. You have to go through basically airport security. Yeah. And they just like wave and say, have fun. Like they didn't care. So it was dry, but like it wasn't enforced.
All right. I do want to talk a little bit about the sports that we don't pay attention to until the Olympics roll around. And I don't mean to offend all your great accomplishments, but
No, that's curling for sure.
I think curling would fit the bill there. So we'll talk about that coming up. We will get to Jordan Love. I will also, obviously, we're in Green Bay, so practice kicks off at 10:30. Matt LaFleur speaks again at 9:50, so we'll see what the Packers head coach says as we get ready for practice number 4 of training camp. Matt Hamilton is in as our cousin sub of the day, and so is Hunter Vaughn for Jesse Nelson. Matt's in for Tausch, but Tausch is never far away, especially when it comes to talking about Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. So here is Tausch talking about Pella, and we'll be back with more next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher here for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. And now is the time for a bad dad joke.
What did the window say when it was arrested? I was framed.
All right. Well, dad jokes aside, my mind is on windows because Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin has a fantastic deal going on right now. Pay as low as $18 per window and $81 per patio door per month. Pella completes the installation with no mess, no hassle, and no bad dad jokes, leaving nothing but perfect results behind. Certain restrictions do apply. This offer ends on July 31st. Visit PellaWI.com today to get started.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Ben Bruss for Road America. The best place in Elkhart Lake is America's National Park of Speed. Make the most out of your summer at Road America. Come see a race at the legendary 4-mile, 14-turn road course that has hosted some of the best races since 1955. Camp on site all weekend and enjoy free admission for kids 16 and under with a paying adult at the gate. Up next is the Grid Life Summer Apex Music and Motorsports Festival, July 26th through the 28th. Come for the experience, stay for the race. Get your tickets at roadamerica.com. That's roadamerica.com.
Bringing summer gatherings to the next level is just another thing we do at Celebrations Entertainment. Hi, it's Jeffrey. With rental items like sound equipment, photo booths, and even yard games, you can make your event the party that everyone talks about. Any event like graduation parties, block parties, or even a backyard barbecue can be elevated with fun, interactive items to make everyone ask, hey, how'd you pull this off? Just tell them celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Wow, Wayne, that is a beautiful window.
It sure is, Jeff. It really tackles energy efficiency.
Sure has a nice slide.
It's one of the best screenplays I've ever seen.
They're so easy to close. I'd say it's a grand slam.
If you guys keep making those dad jokes, you're going to be a real pain in my neck.
Oh, that's a good one. Did you hear about this one, Five?
Get as low as $18 per window and $81 per patio door per month.
Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply on 7/31/2024.
Celebrate 42 years of tradition at Milwaukee's original house party. Join us on Milwaukee's beautiful lakefront, July 26th, 27th, and 28th for authentic German food, music, beer, and dancing. Experience the excitement of the Glockenspiel, Dachshund Culture Village, Mardi Gras Show, Trauchenschau, Sheep's Head Tournament, and much more. For more information, tickets, and admission discounts, visit GermanFest.com. Don't miss the fun. See you at GermanFest. Holla!
From color-changing Alexandrite to shimmering zircon and everything in between at Chalmers Jewelers, you'll find high-quality, affordable, one-of-a-kind pieces. We source straight from the gem cutters, and we manufacture in-house from start to finish. As the manufacturer, we believe in truth in pricing. Never pay more for quality and stunning, beautiful jewelry. She's one of a kind, and so should her jewelry be. While others may send your jewelry dreams to someone else to make, with us, your dreams become reality with the help of our custom jewelers, with you involved the whole way. With a staff that has over 200 years of combined experience, why buy from a place that marks up jewelry made by the thousands? When you can buy direct from Chalmers for that one-of-a-kind piece that is better quality, often for less.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison.
With the incredibly spacious 3-row Chevy Traverse, you can change
Let's just meet at the concert.
into
Why don't I pick all you guys up on the way?
the advanced safety engineered Chevy Blazer EV lets you turn. You think we should turn back? Into full steam ahead. And with the affordable Equinox EV,
Keep an eye out for the next Charger, kids.
becomes
Get comfortable, kids. We'll be home in 4 hours.
for summer adventures, Chevy's got you. See your Badgerland Chevy dealer today.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that American Family Insurance agents can help build a customized renter's policy so you can protect stuff like this, or this, or even this. Oh, well, case in point. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
On the air, on demand, on social, on Wisconsin Sports. Serving Wisconsin sports fans. This is 100.5 ESPN.
I remember the nights when we were young, dumb, and wild and free. When I closed my eyes, I could see you in my sweatshirt. Dancing around that college bar. These days I don't know where you are, but I get to keep these memories forever. Oh, I
So this is the best picture of you from the Olympics, and it's your back?
Yeah, it is. But it's the best picture. It's so good.
I prefer the one where your sister is rolling her eyes at you and you are giving her the bunny ears behind her head. But
yeah,
hey,
that's
18. Back when you had a haircut.
Yeah,
so,
that was 18.
It doesn't even look like you anymore. Rolling with our favorite Olympic gold medalist and our cousin sub of the day, cousin subs, we believe in better, Matt Hamilton, filling in the Everlight Solar ESPN Madison studios, as is Hunter Vaughn. All right, we'll get to Jordan Love coming up in the next segment, but I did want to ask this as well, since we do have a obscure Olympic sports expert on our panel today. You're self-aware, right? You would acknowledge that
100%.
You're as much as we love you and think highly of you, even though Jesse makes fun of your heartbreaking finish in the last Olympiad that you were in. The bottom line is your sport is a niche sport.
Yes.
It is not the same as men's hockey. It is not skiing. It is not figure skating. So,
well, would you say you follow figure skating in the off years? Non-Olympic years?
Definitely not. No.
Right.
Definitely not. But maybe it doesn't draw the same number of eyeballs.
Oh, it doesn't.
As
That's the
figure
hottest
skating
ticket
does
in the
during
Winter
the
Olympics. It's the hottest ticket at the event.
But you're right. I am definitely not watching the World Championships in non-Olympic years. Now, with you, I do find myself at least checking in, and it's easy to do because it's just, hey, when is Hamilton off the show? He must be competing in some sort of curling event, and it's pretty frequently. I don't know who works less, you or Tausch, but the fact of the matter is that it is one of those sports that you watch when the Olympics are on for most people, and then they don't watch them again. And you're right, figure skating is that too. But yesterday I watched team handball.
Awesome.
Which was France and Uruguay, maybe? And then I watched rugby. The first one I watched was Argentina and France, and then I watched some of the USA versus Uruguay. And I'm sitting there going, and Paula was making fun of me, but of course, Sydney, who's our youngest, is like the carbon copy of me, and we watched the entirety of that handball match between two countries that we're not from because we were so interested in it. Because it's different, right? Handball is like a cross between basketball and soccer.
Yeah. Wild sport.
What? So having, you were talking earlier about how it's this great melting pot at the Olympics, right? Of different people from different countries who play different sports. What are your go-to Olympic summer and winter sports that you're not paying attention to for 4-year spurts, but then once the Olympics roll around, you're saying, ooh, I want to watch this.
Right. So for summer sports, like one of the first ones that's amazing to watch is badminton. It's just crazy. It's so fast and they're so good. Like some of the rallies can last so long. Badminton's an absolute blast to watch.
Okay.
I really like my favorite winter or summer sport is beach volleyball. The beach volleyball is so good because the court and the crowd is always so like right on top of the court. It's very intimate. You've got just a kind of like a party setting. It's not as like official as some of the other sports feels. Like there's music playing. Like I said, the crowd's really close, and I just like the energy from volleyball. Plus, I enjoy playing volleyball and watching volleyball. So obviously that's one, but I feel like that doesn't really count as a niche enough sport. There's some good ones in the summer. Equestrian is kind of funny. You kind of wonder, it's kind of like NASCAR. You're like, how good of athletes are these? It's like, is it the horse that's the athlete, or is it the rider, or a combo of both?
It's the horse.
Does the horse get the gold medal, or is it just the rider that gets one?
I don't know. I'm sure the horse gets, at the very worst, a wreath. And then all of the track sports, like I find track very entertaining to watch, especially the throwing events, like javelin's pretty wild, or the pole vault, pretty wild event. The running's fine. It's fun to see who the fastest people are, but I'm here for like the weird events because I'm part of that like community that only gets watched during the Olympics, and I want to contribute to those other niche sports during the Olympics. I'll watch those because I know how it feels to be someone like our good friend Tauscher thought I literally take a 3.5-year break and then gear up for the Olympics every 4 years.
He did. Yeah,
and
he did.
I'm sure there's people who do javelin and people are like, so you just get geared up for the Olympics to do the javelin? It's like, no, there's track events all year round. There's indoors, there's outdoors. There's track events all the time. So you get like, I have an extra sympathetic spot for those sports, I guess.
Yeah, I have to be honest. I don't know how many rugby matches I've watched in my time on Earth.
Yeah, and there's 2 versions of rugby. You watched sevens yesterday.
I did, yes.
Sevens is the one. I like sevens more than 11s.
Wait a minute. How do you have a preferred version of rugby? Are you moonlighting as a rugby player when you're not around and we're wondering where you are?
No.
Or because there can't be many people that have I prefer sevens over 11s.
No, it's a faster paced game. They're typically a little bit smaller players. It's like someone probably correct me. It's 11s or it might be even more, but it's just there's bigger dudes in that one, and it's a little bit slower pace. The sevens, these guys are all like little Tyreek Hills flying around.
It was entertaining.
Yeah.
I mean, they're like Tyreek Hills, but built like Christian McCaffrey. Like they are.
Yeah.
These dudes are like yoked and fast.
The legs are tree trunks in rugby because they're dragging defenders all the time. It's a crazy game, but sevens is definitely the better version.
So is sevens like the SEC and 11s is like the Big Ten West for rugby? Is that the way to think about it?
As far as like size goes?
Yeah, and like play style?
Yeah, I would say 11s is like the Big Ten offensive line, and sevens is like SEC wide receivers, running backs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I get it.
As far as like size difference.
Just got to put it in college football terms,
right.
And then I'll understand.
So like they do have a couple of fast guys on the 11s or the larger squads, and they're typically wingers, but the really big dudes are in the middle just beating the snot out of each other.
Listen to Hamilton. Oh, they're the wingers and this and that. All right. I can't. This is Rugby Today on ESPN Wisconsin. That has been your Rugby Minute. Hunter, what are you watching that you don't normally watch? I mean, we know you watch the Dallas Cowboys very closely, but what are you watching in the Olympics that you wouldn't normally pay attention to?
I get into the cycling stuff because I like how they do like the races around whatever city they're in.
Velodromes too.
Yeah, and then the velodrome, I'm just like, that is fascinating, and I would hurt myself so bad if I ever tried that. I'm like,
that feels
I
like
barely
the speed
cycle.
Skating. It feels like the speed skating of the Olympics.
Yep, exactly. So I'm always locked in on that.
you ever seen the speed climbing?
What?
Yeah, so climbing is like a new Olympic sport in 2021, and this is the second Olympics that they have it, and they go up pretty high. It's like 40 meters, 30 meters, and it takes them like 9 seconds, 10 seconds.
Well, you're a total Olympian when you're dropping meters. I mean, come on.
Well,
We're this is America, man. How many yards is that?
31 or 30 and 3/4 yards.
All right, we will get to the Packers coming up, but we're thrilled to have our Olympics expert. We'll see if he's a Coldplay expert a little bit later in the program. I saw that piqued his interest when I brought it up at the start of the show. But we need to get to the Packers. I'm going to get down to practice in a little while, but I'm getting the sense that people's patience is already running thin on the Jordan Love hold-in, and I'm a poet, and I didn't even know it. Because I've been starting to get some feedback from fans and teammates who are starting to express some frustration. And it feels premature to me, but maybe that's just the non-fan in me that's causing that. So we'll talk about that coming up. Want to remind you, whenever Jordan Love gets that contract, and maybe they will have a giant check that they hand him for that signing bonus, you know that it'll have the logo of Associated Bank on it, because Associated Bank is the bank of the Packers. And if you're a Packers fan, that means you can get Packers checking with a Packers debit MasterCard, Packers checks, and of course 10% off at the Packers Pro Shop in-store and online. And if you're not a Packers fan, you'll still be a fan of Associated Bank, because you'll get great customer service. They've just won another award from J.D. Power for how great their customer service is. And you get early pay, meaning if you have direct deposit from your employer, you can have access to your money up to 2 days early when you have some sort of maybe a little unexpected expense. Maybe you decide to fly off to Paris and watch the Olympics. Well, now you'll have your money a little bit early. Go to AssociatedBank.com to find out more. More with Matt Hamilton, our cousin sub of the day. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Watch every ESPN Madison show live every day. Subscribe to ESPN Madison on YouTube for live video of every show and exclusive content. Just search ESPN Madison.
Mark Tauscher here for Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie, the name you can trust. Well, training camp practices and preseason games are great opportunities for the guys up in Green Bay to make sure they're fully ready for their regular season performances. If they didn't work on things before the games count, there could be some big mistakes that happen in the regular season. Same goes for car maintenance. Get your vehicle checked before you go on a long road trip or an issue comes up during an important, busy time in your life. And there is no better vehicle service team than the team I trust over at Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie. Get a tune-up, check the battery, check your tires, change the oil. Make sure all the inner workings of your vehicle are in tip-top shape so you can focus on the fun of getting from place to place for whatever your next adventure holds, and not allowing vehicle trouble to disrupt you. Schedule that service appointment, view vehicle inventory, and learn more about all they have to offer at ZimbrickChevrolet.com. That's ZimbrickChevrolet.com. Fix any issues before it counts. When it comes to your vehicle, take my word for it and trust the fantastic team at Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie, the name you can trust.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
I would say the Packers are a non-offensive fan base. The Packers fans don't want no smoke. Like, the Packers fans, they cheer on their team. I feel like they're sober-minded. They can be relatively objective when it comes to sports fan bases.
I agree with that. They understand their place in the sports universe, and they're good with that. They're confident in themselves because of that, because of the history.
Unsportsmanlike. Weekdays from 5 to 9 on 100.5 ESPN.
Forward Madison FC's professional soccer season is underway, and they want you to pack out Breeze Stevens Field. Need a night out with the whole family? Try the Forward Madison Family Special presented by MG&E. Score a ticket to the match, a meal, and an FMFC scarf, all for just $25 per person. Visit ForwardMadisonFC.com to purchase your tickets today. That's ForwardMadisonFC.com. Forward Madison, fun for all.
Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side. When you see Diamond Jim, you can count on him to be on your side. Selection beyond compare with on-site repair, so you can wear your jewelry with pride. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
You know Fleet Farm's got everything for everyday life. But did you know we also have the best prices guaranteed every day? Like 40 pounds of Diamond Crystal Softener Salt, on sale now for just $5.69. Or a 40-pound bag of black oil sunflower seed, on sale for $17.49. And on the odd day you find a lower price, we'll match it. Any day, every day. Fleet Farm's got everything you need for everyday life, all at the best prices. Guaranteed.
The ESPN Madison Open, presented by Coors Light, is back. On Monday, August 5th, the ESPN Madison crew is packing their bags and teeing off at Bishops Bay Country Club for a day on the links. The ESPN Madison Open is benefiting Miracle League of Dane County and is brought to you by Bishops Bay Country Club, The Tasting Room, Incredible Bank, Celebrations Entertainment, Hush Blackwell, and Vortex Optics. Thank you for making a difference in our community.
Grab a Coke and grab some cash with the Coca-Cola Summer Cash Grab, only from Quick Trip. Play daily in your Quick Rewards app for a chance to win up to $250,000. Earn extra chances to enter by purchasing any qualified Coke, Monster Energy, Powerade, Body Armor, Smart Water, or Core Power Elite products with Quick Rewards. Summer just got a whole lot cooler with Quick Trip and Coca-Cola. No purchase necessary. See QuickTrip.com/sweepstakes for details.
Like, share, and follow ESPN Madison everywhere. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok for more great content from ESPN Madison. This is 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
Rolling on with Matt Hamilton as our cousin sub of the day. So I sent out the YouTube link. We're in a transition phase with Twitter, and Jesse's working on getting the video stream back there consistently. But I noticed, and there's no way I can monitor this because I have enough stimuli when we do the show, but lots of people comment during the show on the YouTube comments. I didn't realize that there was a question about the Bears, and I found myself wondering, wait a minute, that's Jim, Matt, and Molly that's got the Bears fan that runs the show there. So Bears Talk can be found from 4 to 6 on Jim, Matt, and Molly if you're really looking for that. And I don't even, how much of that do you allow, Matt, as a Packers fan?
So, like, we'll talk Packers, and then Jim just, like, kind of, like, drifts off. I kind of feel like he forgets. You know, his own fandom starts coming into play.
Sure.
And get this. Jim's out today. So it's going to be me and Molly later.
Oh, nice.
Ryan Woldersheim's like, hey, great. You guys want a little Bear fan in your life? Let's try and get Kaplan on. So we can get a Bear fan. So we might get Cap today. It's not confirmed yet, but that a little sneak peek. That's what we're trying to do. He's joined us a couple times, and a couple times without Jim, and it's fun.
Yeah, he's really, really, really good. There's no two ways about that. All right, so let's talk Packers instead of Bears.
Yes.
Here with our resident Packers fan. You're like just so let's establish your resume.
Okay.
Your Packers fandom, where would you say it ranks on the fanatical scale of 1 to 100?
Man, it's so tough. It's tough for me to say that because, unfortunately, my curling season goes on the exact same time as football season, so I don't get to watch nearly as many Packer games or go to as many Packer games as I would like. Like, my family has season tickets, and I don't. I might get to a game a year. And
so are you? Because I know when I would talk to, say, we used to do a thing with Operation Fan Mail, where I would talk to veterans or active service members, and we would always talk about their Packers fandom, and they were like, "Yeah, I was in Iraq for X number of years, and we always found a way to get, if we were able to, if we weren't like in the middle of a firefight,
right,
we would get video, we'd get the Packers game." So if you're competing in Switzerland, Are you trying to track down the Packers if it aligns with your competitive schedule?
If it aligns, absolutely. And honestly, most of the time, it's not too hard because normally I miss Packer games because I'm curling in Canada. So for the most part, Canada's NFL fans, like you can find that game anywhere. If it aligns, I like to do it, but I end up watching a lot of like that, Packers in 15 minutes kind of stuff for just because that's what I have time for.
Okay.
But I would say my fandom does run deep, though, because I'm technically an owner. My parents bought me a ownership stock piece of paper when I was younger, so I'm an owner. And I'm definitely, like, hopefully optimistic. But as far as, like, Fanatic goes, I'd go 65 out of 100,
okay.
Maybe 70. And I'd like that number to be higher. I think when I'm done curling, it will be higher. I won't quite get to, like, paint your face to go to a game, but I might get to at least 3 or 4 games a year, and that would be way more than I'd get to now.
Well, that's certainly higher than me. I'm about a 2. All right, so, Hunter, just because you're a Dallas Cowboys fan, this doesn't apply to you, but how would you rate your Cowboys fandom on a scale of 1 to 100 in terms of intensity?
It's probably about a 90.
Yeah,
I feel like that's the point where you would
unhealthy.
paint your face at a game. 90.
Okay. I wouldn't go quite that far, so let's maybe knock it down to 80. I get very into the games. My wife doesn't necessarily enjoy being in the apartment while I'm watching games. She was nice enough to go with me.
Questions the decisions she'd made in her life.
Yeah. I get so into those games, and Jerry Jones frustrates me so much. So when they inevitably break my heart in the playoffs, I start saying some things about that man that I shouldn't say and I won't say on the air. And it's not healthy. It's not good. And I know that it's not, but I can't stop myself. That's the problem. I go into every season like, I'm going to be healthy. I'm going to be realistic. They're not going to be great. They're going to look good because some of the division isn't great. And then I inevitably get my hopes up at the end of the year, and then the 49ers or the Packers break my heart.
So, Jason, I know you're trying to do a Packers show here, but Hunter, did you know that already, before the season's even started, Jerry Jones made a comment about how he's basically preparing for life after Dak?
Yep. That man only cares about media attention. I hate it so much.
Preseason, he's already hedging that he's going to get rid of his what we all thought was a franchise quarterback. It's
which
hilarious.
Then makes me feel like all of the Packers front office is so much better equipped to handle things than Jerry Jones and the Cowboys. Because for all of the things that you can say about the dumb things that get said at times up in Green Bay, it's not nearly as bad as what goes on down in
Jerry
Dallas.
World.
Yeah. So Packer fans should, I already know they feel lucky, but like feel even more lucky because it's a headache.
So I don't want to get bogged down in Jordan Love conjecture, right? Oh, what's the holdup and this and that? Because I got to be honest, I had Jordan Love contract fatigue already, and now I'm starting to get Jordan Love guessing fatigue because, look, I don't – even the folks that are talking to his agents, right? The Diana Rossini's, the Adam Schefters, the Ian Rappaports, the Tom Pelisseros, et cetera. I mean, let's be honest. They're probably not being told the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So now we're out here guessing, right? Well, what's the holdup? And I'm part of that. So I'm not saying that I've been above the fray on guessing. My guess has been that it's related to guaranteed money, that he wants to guarantee more money, and the Packers want to hedge their bets just in case he's not as star-spangled awesome as he appeared to be during the second half of last season. Again, I don't think that he will turn out to be a colossal disappointment or that will turn out to have been an aberration. I think he will turn out to be a very good quarterback. Whether he's great, whether he's an MVP, whether he's a Hall of Famer, I have no freaking idea. Okay? So that's kind of where I'm at. But this is why I wanted to get your kind of fanatical scale on the spectrum, because I'm wondering if there is a direct correlation between how desperately you live and die with this team and how frustrated or desperate you're getting about a deal not being done yet. Because for me, I'm sitting there going, it's been 3 days. They're not in pads. They're getting a guy who needs the work if catastrophe hits in Sean Clifford, some work. I mean, he needs it, right?
Yeah.
He played 13 snaps last year. So if, Jordan Love managed to stay healthy, started all 19 games, across the NFL, 66 different quarterbacks started at least one game last year. So that is an average of 2 per team and then some. So Jordan is the outlier there. So it's good that Sean Clifford is getting this work, but I am getting the sense that people are starting to get a little panicky. So I want to ask Matt whether he's getting panicky, and I want Hunter's perspective as a Cowboys fan, because as a Cowboys fan, he's got all kinds of things to panic about. Dak taking up a gargantuan amount of their cap, CeeDee Lamb not having a deal, Micah Parsons situation, all that stuff. It's not a Cowboys show, but I think he can be illustrative of, hey, things could be way worse. You could have Jerry Jones running your team. So we'll have that conversation coming up. Before we do that, we need to register more contestants, more GMs for the annual ESPN Wisconsin Fantasy Football League. It is back, and the draft takes place next Thursday, August 1st, at Dave & Buster's in Wauwatosa. And if you want to be part of the fun and you are available on Thursday, don't call if you have a conflict and you're going to be watching Olympic badminton and you won't be able to take part in the draft. So if you are able, we will take caller 4 and caller 12. Caller 4 and caller 12 at 844-770-3776, 844-770-3776. Caller 4 and caller 12, you will be registered to have a team at the annual ESPN Wisconsin Fantasy Football Draft and in the Fantasy Football League. Again, it is Thursday, August 1st at Dave & Buster's in Tosa. Full contest details can be found at ESPNWisconsinContest.com. Can't wait to see you at Dave & Buster's in Tosa on Thursday, August 1st. Caller 4 and caller 12 now, 844-770-3776. More Wilde and Tausch straight ahead. Stick around.
What's up, Madison? It's head coach Kelly Sheffield.
Wisconsin proved they were the number 1 team in the country tonight.
You're listening to Madison's new home for Wisconsin Badger volleyball, 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
Mark Tauscher here, and even though I'm off the show today, it's still Feel Good Friday on Wilde and Tausch, painted by Holman Lindsay Paints. Stick around to hear some of the best Feel Good stories of the week coming up to close out today's show. I am not spending my time off painting my house because our family trusted Holman Lindsay's great team of pro painters before. They're super easy to get in touch with, and they do a tremendous job. All you have to do is stop into any Madison area Holman Lindsay location and ask a member of their team. They'll get you in touch with the best pro for your job. From hot summer days to brisk winter nights, Holman Lindsay is the one paint that can withstand the challenges of Wisconsin's weather year-round. That's why we can say Holman Lindsay truly is Wisconsin's best paint. Holman Lindsay, great paint, great people. And check them out at HallmanLindsay.com. And stick around for Feel Good Friday, coming up to close out today's show, painted by Holman Lindsay Paints.
Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute.
This Badger Minute brought to you by your Badgerland Chevy dealers, proud supporters of Badger Athletics. Go to BadgerlandChevy.com.
With this Badger Minute, I'm Jesse Nelson. How's this for a little Friday motivation? Wisconsin Badgers head coach Luke Fickell speaking earlier this week in Indianapolis at Big Ten Media Days about setting the championship standard for the Wisconsin football program.
We've got to find the standards that give us an opportunity to grow. These are the standards that we know and believe give us the best opportunity to continue to grow our program and put us in a position to play for a championship, because that's the mentality, that's the objective, and that's what the University of Wisconsin and our football program deserves.
Order today from Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and pay as low as $18 per window and $81 per patio door per month. Visit PellaWI.com.
Join the Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock, for Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Get the information you need as you plan for retirement. That's Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Investment advisory services offer the Retirement Income Strategies, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
The GRB Rays have established themselves as one of the top baseball programs in the Midwest and the country. GRB Academy offers training programs for players of all ages and skill levels. Learn from some of the best baseball coaches in the area and find the program that fits your training goals and your schedule. Spots are filling up fast, so visit grbacademy.com to sign up now. That's grbacademy.com. GRB Academy, baseball for the serious player.
If you want a fresh twist on surf and turf, look no further than North and South Seafood and Smokehouse. Inspired by their time living in the Alaskan Gulf in southern Texas, owners Keith and Aaron brought together unique culinary backgrounds to create a truly authentic American restaurant here in Madison. After expanding to 2 more locations in DeForest and Verona, you can savor smoky, wood-fired barbecue and freshly prepared seafood from around the country. Explore their full menu and dining options at eatnorthandsouth.com. That's eatnorthandsouth.com.
Are you a veteran who needs assistance? Do you know a veteran who needs help? The Wisconsin Department of Veterans Affairs is here for Wisconsin veterans, their families, and their survivors. We can help connect veterans with services such as medical care, financial and legal assistance, housing, mental health services, substance use treatment, and more. For more information, please visit wisvets.com. That's WIS vets.com. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Veterans Affairs, with funding provided by the Milwaukee Brewers and the Brewers Community Foundation.
Have you been waiting to buy your next home? Stop. Now is the time to get housed. What's up, Madison? It's Stacy from Bruner Realty. Nobody has a crystal ball to know what the future holds. The longer you wait to find your next home, the better the chance you'll be paying more for it than you would be today. Don't miss out on what could be the best opportunity to find your dream home. Contact our team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to help start your search. That's BrunerRealtyInc.com. Let's get house.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
Matt LaFleur is at the podium inside the Lambeau Field Media Auditorium, and he has no updates on Jordan Love.
Surprise.
So if you were hoping to have an update on Jordan Love, you will not be getting one today, and that means that he will not be practicing today, clearly, as the hold-in continues. Day 5 of the hold-in, practice number 4 that he'll be missing. So here's my question, and we're going to put it in poll form here shortly.
Jason, I think we lost you there. So the poll question... Poor Jason. Technical difficulties.
Yeah, we lost Jason there for a second.
Trying to get him back?
Yep.
All right, well, while he works on that, I'm sure he's going to ask something about the concern level for Jordan Love. So we'll get back into it, but I'll tell you about my concern level. For me, especially this week without pads, it doesn't really... I'm not that nervous. It's no pads yet. It's not real football. Like, sure, running through some of the offense with the team is important, but I think that getting Clifford some reps when no one's in pads is fine. All the players around Jordan Love are going to have a little bit of a feel for what's going on, and Jordan's still going to hit the ground running with this team when he does get a deal done. So, personally, I'm not super concerned with Jordan Love not having a contract done right now.
I want to thank Riverside Animal Hospital for calling and leaving a voicemail about Stella, who we took in for her regular checkup yesterday and knocked me off the radio briefly. But the question I was asking is, who do you blame? And let me be clear. I don't think we should be blaming anybody. this is just the cost of doing business. And I'm sorry that it's inconvenient, and I'm sorry that you would rather have the starting quarterback taking part. But for me anyway, this is how negotiations go. And deadlines spur action, but the start of training camp was a deadline. It wasn't the only deadline. And so I don't even really want to ask, well, whose fault is it? Who do you blame more? But that feels like the question everyone's asking me.
Right.
And there it does feel like there are people already turning on Jordan Love. Well, he's under contract. He should honor his contract. Yeah, and if your company was on the precipice of signing you to a long-term contract that over the life of the contract would pay you 20 times more than what you're scheduled to be making this year, and you had a risky job where you could get injured during this year working for a lot less, and it would jeopardize your ability to get all the money that would be in this next contract, would you really be risking your earning power yourself? I understand there's not a lot of parallels between real life and football life, but I think in this instance, if you look at it from that perspective, I feel like most people would do what Jordan's doing. And by the way, he is here. He's in all the meetings. He's at all the walkthroughs. He's in the locker room with his teammates. So I don't quite understand why folks are down on him. Is this a blind spot for me because I cover the team and I'm around the guy and I have, I think, a pretty good idea of what kind of guy he is? Is that just me being obtuse, or is that, I think, or is that a reasonable way to view this?
So I don't agree. I don't think it's reasonable to blame Jordan Love right now. This is money that can affect his grandchildren, right? Like, this is big time dollars. He is well within his right, especially to do it the way he's doing it and coming in. I think that's totally fine. I think one of the real big disconnects here is that fans are kind of blaming Jordan Love for what the Jordan Love camp is doing. Like, the agents are the ones who trying to get Jordan Love as much money as they can, because in doing so, they get themselves as much money as they can. So they could have held up negotiations at that first deadline, May 3rd, by saying, we're going to wait until some other quarterback sign and the market is set. So, like, I just feel like people forget, like, Jordan Love's not the one negotiating. Like, sure, he's got some say, but the agents are the ones who are really, in my opinion, could be the ones that are forcing this delay. Obviously, the Packers have offered him something. Jordan Love and his agents don't like where they're at, but I really believe that the agents are like, hey, Jordan, I think we can get more. No, and I don't blame him for agreeing and going along with it. I just think the disconnect between what an agent does for the player and pretending like that's the player's decision entirely is often overlooked.
Hunter, as a Cowboys fan, and you're watching this with your own team's issues with the quarterback contract, what are you thinking?
I think they just need to pay Jordan. Because right now you don't have to worry about paying two other position players top three in the at their position money the way that the Cowboys are looking at things. So they're trying to squeeze out every single dollar that they can from Dak because they know that they need Micah Parsons and CeeDee Lamb. So if you're the Packers, like, it just seems weird that they're not just like, yep, we're going to pay you this money. Also then knowing that, like, when Patrick Mahomes signed his contract, he was the number 2 highest paid quarterback per year when he did his, behind only Ryan Tannehill, and now he's sitting at like number 8. It's going to go up. Other guys are going to get paid, and the percentage of the cap that his money is going to take up is going to slowly go down as well. So it just seems weird to like get upset over $3-4 million a year when you know that that's such a drop in the bucket of what the salary cap will probably be in 3-4 years from now.
Right.
Yeah, I am convinced that they are just trying to protect themselves in the event that he's not as good as they think. And we all agree that he appears to be a good to very good quarterback. but it is their responsibility to make sure that if he turns out to not be, they're not trapped in a contract. Because look, Hunter, I've heard you complain about Dak Prescott before as a Cowboys fan. And we've talked about his failures in terms of playoff success or lack thereof, right? I mean, he's a good quarterback, but part of the reason why things have played out the way they have in Dallas is that I'm not quite sure that they believe that he'll ever get them to the promised land. Fair?
Yeah. And like Dak is a guy that I don't think, even though Jerry Jones said it to the media yesterday, Dak isn't a guy that will elevate the team to be better. He's a guy that has been in a situation where he has had Dez Bryant and Amari Cooper and now CeeDee Lamb as his number one wide receivers. He's had great tight end play his entire time. He's had one of the best O-lines his entire time. Their issues in the playoffs have been more on the defense, I think, but it's still, he's done nothing to like overcome that and get them past things, where it seemed like last year, especially at the end of the year, Jordan Love was making plays and doing things to make the rest of the team better. So that's where it signals to me that even if he's just good, he still shows signs of making the team around him better. So that alone, I think, is worth being a top 10 in the league when it comes to the dollar amount. So it, again, just pushes me back to, like, the front office, just do it. Like, get it done, figure it out. And Jordan, I don't get the hate for Jordan because, again, like, dude's got to protect his leg. After what happened to Teddy Bridgewater, quarterbacks can't be going out there if they don't have guaranteed money. They just can't do it.
Great example. I mean, and look at what Teddy Bridgewater's career became.
Yeah. Yep.
Right? He just became a journeyman bouncing around to be backup at a bunch of different places. All right. We'll shift gears to kick off the 10 o'clock hour. I do want to get to Unsportsmanlike's Super Bowl contenders list that they had earlier this week. We will see what else Matt LaFleur had to say at the podium. Packers getting ready for practice. It kicks off at 10:30. I'll head down there around 10:45, and Hunter and Matt will play some trivia while I'm making my trip, and then we'll have the 11 o'clock hour. We'll have some updates from practice there too. But before we get to that, we got to get to the 10 o'clock hour, which will kick off in 2 minutes with Matt Hamilton, the gold medalist, as our cousin sub of the day. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
This is former Wisconsin linebacker Chris Orr. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN, WTLX, Monona, Madison, a good Karma Brands radio station on Wisconsin.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
What is up, Madison? I'm Hunter Vaughn. Your Sports Center update is brought to you by Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison for generations. Check them out at 220 State Street and online at goodmansjewelers.com. There's no new news on Jordan Love's contract extension as his hold-in continues to day number 5. You can stay up to date on everything Packers and Jordan Love related right here on ESPN Wisconsin or over at ESPNWisconsin.com. On to Major League Baseball. The first place Milwaukee Brewers are back in action tonight. After a day off yesterday, they will be without Christian Yelich, who's hit the IL and is going to be resting his back issues that he has been dealing with this season to try and avoid surgery. The Brew Crew start a 3-game home series hosting the Miami Marlins tonight. Fastball Freddie Peralta is on the bump for the Brewers against Trevor Rogers. That first pitch is at 7:10 from AmFam Field. Milwaukee is currently in first place in the NL Central with a 6-game lead over the Cardinals. Hour 2 of Wilde and Tausch starts right now.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
The 10 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch with Matt Hamilton in as our cousin sub of the day, as is Hunter Vaughn. Rolls on. And Matt LaFleur just finished up his press briefing, says that Josh Myers will not be here today for practice because of a personal matter. So we'll see how the Packers choose to line up at center. That'll be one of the interesting things. Also, Zach Tom, for those of you who, like Brian Bulaga, are offensive line aficionados. Zach Tom is a ways away from actually participating in 11-on-11 periods. So he will continue to do some drill work, but not 11-on-11 team drills. That means that 2 of the Packers' 5 starters will not be taking part in team drills today at practice. All right, Matt, I want to get to something that our friends on Unsportsmanlike, Evan Cohen, Michelle Schmalman, as I like to call her, and Chris Canty talked about, and I know Hunter's got some audio for it as well, that this idea of the Super Bowl contenders list. Mm-hmm. And again, I'm not here to say whether this list is good or bad. I just found it interesting. And Evan Cohen rattled off the list. Now, this is allegedly, according to their Twitter feed, in no specific order, which is don't we do power rankings in a specific order? Don't you have to put them in order? But nevertheless, here they are. The Kansas City Chiefs, the Baltimore Ravens, the Cincinnati Bengals, the San Francisco 49ers, the Los Angeles Rams, the Detroit Lions, and the Green Bay Packers. That's it. That's the list. 7 teams that they view as Super Bowl contenders. That leaves out Hunter Vaughn's team, the Dallas Cowboys. What it also does is it leaves out that team kind of out of nowhere team, right? Like the team that, like, you know, we had an inkling that maybe the Lions were going to be good last year. They were up 14-0 in the NFC Championship game. I'm not sure anybody saw that coming. So there's got to be a team this year that is not on this list that is going to be in a divisional round game like the Packers were last year.
Or the Houston
right?
Texans.
Nobody expected that. Houston Texans, another good example, Matt. So, but I want to focus on the fact that the Packers are on the list. How we were kind of establishing your level of fandom earlier. Mm-hmm. How confident are you that they are legitimately Super Bowl contenders?
I mean, if Jordan, now it's a big if, and I was impressed with the way he was able to string those 10 games together at the end of last season. If he can do that consistently, if that's like his new median, I think we have a great shot at making a Super Bowl. Like, that is fantastic quarterback play. Like, I feel like LaFleur was able to really scheme guys open. Like, there were times where you were like, where is the defender? Not even close to our players. So I do think that with Matt LaFleur, I think being easily a top 10 play designer in the league, you've got Jordan Love, who, if he plays like that, he's a top 5 quarterback in the league. Like, he was the number 1 quarterback in the last 9 weeks of the regular season last year. Fight me on it. I will go down swinging with that argument. He is a top 5 quarterback if he plays like that. So if you have a top 5 quarterback, a top 10 coach, and your defense can keep you in games, even if they're just like a middle of the pack defense, like 15 or better, I think you've got the recipe for a really great playoff run. again, playoffs are a little bit of luck. Sometimes the ball bounces your way and sometimes it doesn't. Like I don't want to say guaranteed Super Bowl appearance, but it certainly gives you a super great chance to make that deep playoff run. And getting a little bit of playoff experience last year on a team that was basically playing with house money and didn't expect to get to the playoffs, that is going to be such a crucial learning experience for them if they make the playoffs going into this next season, having a little bit of experience under their belt. So I do think that it's fair to put that Packers on that list. Do I think they're super high on the list? Top 5, top 6 probably, but that's a chance. That puts you in the mix. So I'm cool with that. I think it's right.
I think they deserve to be on the list. I think they belong far down on the list because they still have a lot to prove. And I think because they're the team that we watch or we cover most closely, I think we maybe are overvaluing them, but maybe not. Like you said, you got to get in the dance. Mm-hmm. And once you get into the dance, then lots of things can happen, good and bad. And the better team doesn't always advance. I think back to the 2010 team. They were the hottest team getting in. They were the team that no one wanted a piece of. And they played like it, and they went and won the Super Bowl. I don't think, that the Giants did that. Was it 2011 that they did that? Or was it the 2007 year when they beat? I think it was 2007 when they beat the undefeated Patriots.
Yeah.
They were the same way. So again, it's who you play, it's how you're playing at the end of the year, all those kinds of things. But I don't have a problem with the Packers being on this list. I just think they've got more to prove before I would move them up. If they did put them in order, which it kind of looked like they put them in order, even though they claim that they didn't put them in order.
Right.
So
to put the Ravens too, though, over San Francisco, I don't know.
Yeah, I think there's some skepticism about San Francisco. They've got a lot of drama going on, right?
Potentially.
Trent Williams isn't there.
Ayuk is gone.
Ayuk is holding in like Jordan Love.
But he's on his way. He requested a trade.
Yes, Deebo Samuel's been unhappy for a while, so they've got some issues, as Homer would say. What do you think is the biggest thing as a fan that worries you other than injuries that would prevent them from realizing their potential of being a contender?
So for me, I got to look at those one score games in the fourth quarter. And again, I understand the first half Jordan Love wasn't as good, but near the second half, we were kind of blowing the doors off a lot of the teams, and we didn't have to worry about Jordan Love having that game-winning drive in the fourth quarter near the end. He obviously, you saw the hiccup against San Francisco to end the season. Seemed a little rushed on that throw. Understandable though, first real big playoff moment. You were able to blow the doors off the Cowboys. I don't think it felt the same as a playoff game should. And then when you play the Niners and you had a great start, but that second half, you realize you have a lead. Things get a little tight, and it looked like Jordan Love was the victim of, a little bit of the playoff nerves. And I think he was. What was Jordan Love's record with a one-score game last year? It had to have been 2-3. I feel like he lost a couple early. I remember the pick. In this, was it the second game of the season? He threw a pick in the last drive against the Falcons.
He started 1-4
right
in one-score games. They won the Saints game.
Right.
Then they beat the Chargers, so he was 2-4. Technically, the Chiefs game, because it was an 8-point game, was a one-score game. So now he's 3-4. Lost to the Giants, 3-5. Beat the Panthers, although they almost gave that up. So 4-5.
Right. That one was a wild.
and the Bears game, again, 8-point game, so technically a one-score game. So 5-5. So he went 500.
And if I to be a negative guy, I would say 3 of those games, the Panthers, you gave it up. Oh, a good
Wasn't
lead.
Really but they still had to go get the game-winning field goal. I mean,
they
it's tied at 30.
So okay, I'll give them the Panthers game, but the 2-8 8-point games with Chiefs.
Those are borderline.
Borderline.
And then they
I'm just
obviously
saying,
lost. They lost the playoff game to the 49ers, which was a 3-point game. You had the ball in your hands with a chance to go tie or win the game, and you threw the pick.
I'm saying it's what scares me is Jordan Love going to be able to improve upon those numbers? And here's the thing, he did get a couple go his way, as we said. It's so easy for that to not go your way one time, and that's gonna completely. That could be the difference of making the playoffs and not. Like, if one of those games doesn't go our way, we might not make the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
So
you're right.
It's such a fine margin of error for how a moment in one game could turn the tides of a season. So that personally makes me the most nervous, because I liked everything I saw from Jordan Love. I didn't love what I saw in those really big game on the line moments.
Hunter, do you have any words of advice as a Cowboys fan for Packers fans for dealing with expectations? Because you're at the point now where you've been disappointed so many times that you're just telling yourself, don't even let yourself get your hopes up.
Yeah, and I've tried really hard with most of my sports teams, because really, other than the Blackhawks, I've been let down a lot, i.e. Marquette basketball, thinking that was a Final Four run this year and things like that. I've tried to just really ride the wave. Just let it happen and just have fun with it and just kind of go with it. And I think that's what Packer fans need to do. And I say that, then following it up with, I said this on Mr. Irrelevant earlier in the week.
Yeah, nobody listens to that.
I know. So that's why I wanted to bring it up with where I said it. You could go back and watch it on our ESPN Madison or ESPN Milwaukee YouTube.
I wanted, A, you to have the opportunity to plug it, and B, I wanted to see if Strofe was listening, because I should be getting a text message anytime now after that shot at him.
But I said, I think the Packers are absolutely an NFC championship caliber team. I think this is a Super Bowl caliber team. As long as Jordan Love gets in and gets going here, because this can't drag out to the point where they struggle with him starting then against Philly, because that's going to be an NFC seeding, deciding game already.
You're right.
But if he gets in and he gets going, from what I saw at the end of this year, I think this team might roll through the regular season, end up being the 1 or the 2 seed, and I think there's going to be a lot of good things happening. I really like this team, and I hate that I do, because of how much they've broken my heart as a Cowboys fan. And I think you're going to be in for a fun season with this team. As long as it's Jordan Love gets in and gets going, and then the defense, just like Matt said, just be above average. Force some field goals when teams get into the red zone, get a couple of key turnovers, and I think you're going to be fine. You don't need to be the 85 Bears with this defense. Just make enough plays when it matters to be able to help out the offense and not keep giving up touchdowns. And I think they'll be fine.
All right. For all of the hand-wringing about Jordan Love, I was reminded last night, I was scrolling through some videos from the Jets from press availability, and there was our old friend Aaron Charles Rodgers. And it reminded me that things are different, even though there's some drama going around right now with Jordan Love having his hold in. So we're going to talk a tiny little bit about that. And then we're going to do some need it or don't need it. And then we'll play trivia with Matt and Hunter while I walk down to practice. Before we can do that, though, you know how much Matt Hamilton loves his Coors Light. You also know how much Tausch loves his Coors Light. Here's Tausch telling you all about his love for those blue mountains of Coors Light. More Wilde and Tausch straight ahead. Stick around.
Mark Tauscher here for the Blue Mountains of cold, refreshing Coors Light. Whether you're on vacation, relaxing in the summer heat, or just need a moment to chill, crack open a Rocky Mountain cold Coors Light. Coors Light is brewed with a 3-step cold process, cold lagered, cold filtered, and it's cold packaged, so it's actually made to chill. The mountains on Coors Light's cold activated bottles and cans, they turn blue. That's when you know it is chilled to perfection, which, besides the refreshing taste, is my favorite thing about drinking Coors Light. Refreshingly cold and only 102 calories. Coors Light is made to chill. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm President Jeffrey Beckman. We'll always do our best to find the most efficient and cost-effective solution to every job we tackle. Whether it's security for your home or business, installing video surveillance, or being able to control your garage doors from your phone, we can help you feel empowered with simple and user-friendly technology. Let's work together to secure your home or business. jksecurity.com.
LabCorp Clinical Trials is changing to a new name, Fortrea. While the name may be different, Fortrea combines decades of great experience and professionalism with new opportunities for clinical trial participation. It's more than a mission and more than a new name. Fortrea is dedicated to moving healthcare forward. To learn more about the future of healthcare and upcoming clinical trials, visit us at FortreaClinicalTrials.com. That's FORTREA clinicaltrials.com.
Every event tells a story, from the first impression to the final moments. Have someone guide your guests through every chapter the way you want the story told. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With a strong presence, great voices, and an award-winning team, trust us to guide, direct, and inform your guests through all the different chapters of the day. For fun, memorable entertainment for any event, please visit us at celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Step into nostalgia with the Miller High Life Dive Bar of the Week. Listen to Jim, Matt, and Molly every Thursday to find out where you can enjoy $2 Miller High Lifes. To celebrate our love for dive bars, we are going to tell you about some of our favorites, featuring one extra special dive bar that will have $2 High Lifes on special for the week. Taste the champagne of beer in its natural environment. A delightfully different dive bar in Wisconsin like the Keg in DeForest, Cahoots, Pitcher's Pub, and Baldwin Street Grill.
My name is Rob, and I was seriously injured. When I think of Gruber Law Offices, I think of an honest, hardworking team who will fight to represent you. Couldn't be happier with the call that I made that day.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Get ready to crush your fitness goals at Prairie Athletic Club, the ultimate destination for health, wellness, and recreation. This is Sarah Tauscher. The Pack has everything you need to succeed, from group fitness classes to personal training, indoor and outdoor pools, soccer fields, and so much more. Your fitness goals start at the Pack. Don't miss out. Their summer memberships are now available. So join before those rates go up. Stop by or visit prairieathletics.com today. That's prairieathletics.com. Prairie Athletic Club, family fun community.
The drive home just got a whole lot classier.
Your bucket is filled with attention. Yeah. My bucket is filled with conflict.
Well, sort of.
Both of you are insane animals. Like, I would never want as much attention as you thrive on, and I would never want as much confrontation because confrontation makes me sweat. You guys are weird.
That's the lifeblood. Like, what are we living for if we're not out here having conversations?
Not out here trying to prove others wrong.
Jim, Matt, and Molly. Presented by Coors Light. Weekdays 4 to 6 on 100.5 ESPN. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions.
Derek Jeter for American Family Insurance.
Life's better when you're under the American Family Insurance roof because they'll help protect your family's dreams. Whether it's a kid like me aiming for the big leagues, future rocket scientist, or a budding prima ballerina, you can count on an American Family Insurance agent to help you dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
For official rules and more information about every contest on 100.5 ESPN, visit ESPNWisconsinContests.com. That's ESPNWisconsinContests.com. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN app.
Wisconsin's all-time sack leader is finally a Hall of Famer.
Sala led the Big Ten, always revved up to come off that corner.
Congratulations to ESPN Madison's Tarek Sala, proud member of the UW Athletic Hall of Fame class of 2024.
Slow down on Monday, not a sound on Wednesday, might get loud on Friday, but on Saturday, we paint the town.
Continuing with our favorite Olympian and our favorite gold medalist and fourth place finisher, Matt Hamilton on Wilde and Tausch as our cousin sub of the day. Hunter Vaughn, also a cousin sub of the day, as Tausch and Jesse are both on assignment. Look, I don't want to. I try to be authentic. I think that's important. I also try to be honest. I know that there are folks that don't want to hear about Aaron Rodgers, don't want to think about Aaron Rodgers, don't like Aaron Rodgers. I get all that. I do have to admit, that I still care about the guy, that there are times when I miss having him around here. It was he definitely made things interesting. But there are other times, Matt, where I'm kind of glad that what we have is what we have here, that there's not the same type of drama or issues and quite frankly, some of the stuff that I disagreed with in terms of, leadership or how he got after guys or how he welcomed or didn't welcome young players at times. And so I was watching the Jets videos that they had posted from his press availability earlier in the week. And, he's talking about the way things played out with him going to Egypt. And there's questions about that and everything else. And I'm just wondering, again, from your fan perspective, are you kind of like that too, where you're just like, okay, I'm all in on Jordan. I don't need to talk about him. I don't need to think about him. He was a great player, but I don't miss him at all. It just got me wondering that as I watched it.
Yeah, I mean, the Aaron Rodgers drama is always 10 out of 10 for me. It's probably because, as what was Rodgers drafted? 2008, 7?
He was drafted in 2005. His
05.
First season as the starter was 2008.
Yeah. So basically, since I was a freshman or sophomore in high school, Aaron Rodgers has been on the Packers. And then, my college year, my freshman year of college was Aaron Rodgers as a starter. So, those were some of the most fun years of my life, right? Because you're young and you're watching sports, and that's when your fandom really comes into play, I feel like. And so Rodgers is always going to have a special spot for me. So now that he's gone, do I still love hearing that he's up to the same old hijinks that I felt like he was getting into in Green Bay near the end? Yeah, I think that's entertaining, and he's always going to be one of those players that's entertaining to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I that his trip to Egypt, his unexcused absence. I'm how classic. I had booked this trip based on last year's training camp, so I thought it'd be cool. And when it wasn't, I was like, well, I'm still going on this trip. I'm like, what a great answer. That's what I would tell Jesse when I was trying to get out for a curling event. I booked it thinking it was good. I thought we weren't going to have a show that day, and now we do. So, sorry, but not sorry. I'm gone. So I feel for Aaron Rodgers. I think the Jets are sticklers.
Yeah, and I do think it. And these are some of the things that I had interacted with him about at the time. After I was critical of him, and as I always say, whatever I say about you on the radio or in print, I have to be willing to say it to your face. I did appreciate that when I informed him and we went back and forth for a while, he called my criticism low resonance, which is good. I'm glad he doesn't care what I think. That's fine. But it is interesting because that kind of ruled the day yesterday or earlier in the week for them. And now we'll see. They've got a football team. I know they weren't on that list that Evan and Mishmel and Canty put together, but I'll just say this. When he is supremely motivated, I recommend you watch out. Now, whether or not at age 40, turning 41 in December, his body's able to deliver what it needs to deliver, we'll wait and see, right? He's ruptured an Achilles. 2 years ago, he broke his thumb, and it impacted the way that season went. I still think the Packers make the playoffs if he doesn't break his thumb in London. So these are all things that are, at least for me, and if you're a Packers fan and you don't care, more power to you. But just like with Favre in New York and Favre in Minnesota, I'm going to pay attention. And I'm disappointed that we didn't get to watch him last year. I'm disappointed
Oh
he
my
ruptured his
gosh.
Achilles. I wanted to watch those games. I wanted to see how he would do. I was tuned in for those 4 historic plays in the opener.
Yeah. I was so bummed out. And again, not necessarily because I wanted to watch Rodgers like go out and do well with the Jets, but I wanted to see. I honestly though, so I wanted to see like what he did, so I could have this like kind of comparison of what we gave up and what we got. But do you think? And I literally this just popped into my head. Do you think there's any way that Jordan Love might have performed better because he didn't have comps all season? Like say Rodgers started hot. How would Jordan Love's confidence be hit? Because even if people aren't saying it to his face, they would see, and he would see things online talking about how good Aaron Rodgers is doing and how, average Jordan Love looks through the first 5 games.
I don't think there's any question that
Do you think it would negatively impacted him? Like, would he have had the second half he did? Like, that's my big curious question. Because was it the best thing for the Packers for Aaron Rodgers to go down with the Jets?
So I would say this, and again, I don't pretend whether or not I don't pretend like I know Jordan, like I felt like I knew Favre or Rodgers, right? I mean, I the first 2 years Jordan was in the league, I wasn't even in the locker room because of COVID.
Right.
22, 23, and now heading into 24, although I still haven't seen him anywhere other than the practice field. He has been not coming in to do media availability while he is holding in. But my feeling for his personality, quite frankly, is that that stuff doesn't get to him.
Right.
Like he really does have that kind of personality that I don't feel like that stuff is a concern. Now, maybe he masks it. And
Right.
maybe if Rodgers had been healthy and having a great season for the Jets and he had started the way he did for his first 7 games, maybe that would have affected him. It could have. I don't know.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, I like to think it wouldn't have, kind of like you, just like I like to hope that my quarterback's a little more mentally tough than that. But we know that that's not the case for everybody.
Right. And so I doubt that it would have mattered either way based on what I know so far of him. But we can't say that for certain. But I will say this.
say for certain, Jason, is it would have been a blast to watch and be a part of it and maybe be a part of those conversations. That would have been an absolute blast.
Yeah, maybe not talk about on the show because then people would be clicking off the radio, and I don't want them to do that. But I hope they stuck through this conversation because I do think we arrived at a place with your question that is a very worthwhile question. But I think it also allowed us to point out that Jordan Love, and again, I think this will also help as we go through this scenario of him holding in, him not taking part in practice so far, whenever he does take part in practice. I mean, all these things are interesting to see how he will handle them. How will he handle the scrutiny if this drags on another week and then he gets to camp and then he plays in, say, the second and third preseason game or plays in the joint practices they have scheduled and he doesn't look very good, right? How is he going to handle that? These are all parts of the big puzzle as we continue to try and figure out who Jordan Love is. And that puzzle becomes more complicated. It's kind of like when you're a kid, when you're little, you have those simple little 4-piece or 6-piece or 8-piece puzzles. As his career expands, his puzzle is going to be, the one that you lay out all the pieces. You got to find the edges, and it's 250 or 500 or 1,000 pieces.
Oy.
And so right now, we're finding out more and more, and we will find out more and more about what that puzzle looks like as we move forward. All right, we want to play a little Need It or Don't Need It presented by Fleet Farm coming up before practice gets fully underway. Want to remind you, though, that the Steinhafels Buy More, Save More sale is going on right now. This is the best time to refresh your whole house because the more you buy, the more you save. You can take up to $300 off your purchase of bedroom, dining, sofa, home office, and so much more. Plus, use Steinhaffel's 60-month financing to make your dream room even more affordable. It's the Buy More, Save More sale, only at Steinhaffel's, but you can shop it in-store or you can do it online at steinhaffels.com. So Need It or Don't Need It, presented by Fleet Farm, is next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
When you're in the right place at the right time, things get done. The important things, like knowing what you need and how it all works. Talking truck. Fixing it right the first time. At Zimbrick Chevrolet, our people get it done right and now. That's how you know you're in the right place at the right time. And you'll never overpay at Zimbrick Chevrolet.
Wow, Wayne, that is a beautiful window.
It sure is, Jeff. It really tackles energy efficiency.
Sure has a nice slide.
It's one of the best screenplays I've ever seen.
They're so easy to close. I'd say it's a grand slam.
If you guys keep making those dad jokes, you're going to be a real pain in my neck.
Oh, that's a good one. Did you hear about this one, Five?
Get as low as $18 per window and $81 per patio door per month. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply on 7/31/2024.
What's on Tap, brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light beer. Rooting for the Brew Crew, because we're from Milwaukee too. Tastes like Miller time. Collect a Bob Uecker Harry Doyle bobblehead at the Brewers game on August 17th, courtesy of Chevrolet. Inspired by Uecker's legendary role in the film Major League, the first 30,000 fans through the gates will get this special bobble. Get your tickets at brewers.com/giveaways. Milwaukee Brewers Baseball and Miller Lite.
Home practice is about to begin. Your daughter's new tap shoes? Loud. Your son's new tuba? Louder. But you got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with $50 overdraft Greystone. So if you lose track of expenses buying some noise-canceling and sanity-saving headphones, we've got your back. You got this with $50 overdraft Greystone from Associated Bank. See AssociatedBank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
Play where the Badgers play and enjoy a round at University Ridge Golf Course, the official course of the University of Wisconsin and host of the annual AmFam Championship. It's easy to see why University Ridge is consistently rated among the best public courses in Wisconsin. Whether it's a tournament, a corporate event, or just a golf outing with family and friends, University Ridge will make sure that you have an enjoyable golf experience from start to finish. Book your tee time today at universityridge.com. That's universityridge.com.
Have you been waiting to buy your next home? Stop. Now is the time to get housed. What's up, Madison? It's Stacy from Bruner Realty. Nobody has a crystal ball to know what the future holds. The longer you wait to find your next home, the better the chance you'll be paying more for it than you would be today. Don't miss out on what could be the best opportunity to find your dream home. Contact our team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to help start your search. That's BrunerRealtyInc.com. Let's get housed.
Forward Madison FC's professional soccer season is underway, and they want you to pack out Breeze Stevens Field. Need a night out with the whole family? Try the Forward Madison Family Special presented by MG&E. Score a ticket to the match, a meal, and an FMFC scarf, all for just $25 per person. Visit ForwardMadisonFC.com to purchase your tickets today. That's ForwardMadisonFC.com. Forward Madison, fun for all.
Hey Madison, this is Kayla Conklin. I'm the president of the Urban League of Greater Madison Young Professionals, and we are an auxiliary organization off of the Urban League of Greater Madison for ages 21 to 40. If you are a young professional in the city and you're looking for a space to do community service, volunteerism, civic engagement, and network and grow as a young professional, we would love to have you. Please visit our website, www.ulgmyp.org, to register and learn more.
Red Sox.
The other way, Rafael Devers.
Yankees.
A line drive homer, Aaron Judge.
Coverage begins Saturday at 6:30 Eastern and Sunday at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Getting ready to head down to practice. As the Packers' fourth practice of training camp is getting underway already without me. We're going to get underway with a little Need It or Don't Need It presented by Fleet Farm. Fleet Farm, of course, has all kinds of fun stuff going on, including right now, Milwaukee Deal Days. Milwaukee Deal Days are back this Thursday, so starting yesterday, and going through Saturday, so going through tomorrow, only at Fleet Farm. You'll get all kinds of low prices on all the best power tools, accessories, and storage from Milwaukee. I saw my neighbor this morning was doing some work on his property, and he had one of those Milwaukee like boom boxes. They're like super boom boxes too. Like you could drop them from an airplane and they still work.
Right.
So he was working outside on that. That's probably one of the many things that you can get at Fleet Farm during Milwaukee Deal Days going on right now and up until and through Saturday. So it's over tomorrow. So get over to Fleet Farm for that. And I know Tausch's mom has done this kind of thing, but canning season is here, at least according to Fleet Farm. Not my area. We go there for corn for the deer. We go there for pet food. We go there for bird seed for our birds in the backyard. But if you're into canning, the season is here. And Fleet Farm has everything you need to preserve your favorite fruits and veggies. They've got everything to get you from start to finish, like jars, spices, cookers, and more. So shop all the canning savings in-store or online at fleetfarm.com. Time now to play a little Need It or Don't Need It, presented by Fleet Farm.
Need it? I guess you're just what I need. Or don't need it. Presented by Fleet Farm. Remember, if Fleet Farm doesn't have it, then you don't need it. Fleet Farm, serving the Midwest since 1955.
All right, gentlemen, first up, do you think Brian Gutekunst feels like he needs to have a Jordan Love contract extension done by Family Night next Saturday?
What do you think there, Hambone?
I would say he needs it because that's a big night for Packer fans and Packer fandom. It's an important little game that the Packers play that previews their team to the fans that are willing to go for like family night. So I do think it's important that Jordan Love is there and plays at least a little bit and participates a little bit in this family night. So yeah, I think he needs to get that deal done by next Saturday.
So far be it for me to be a hypocrite, because yesterday I said that is the first day, the first kind of milepost on this journey to the deal getting done, where if it's not done by then, I will say, uh-oh.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh. That said, I don't think that Goody operates in that manner in terms of being pressured or feeling like there is a false deadline. I mean, look, I'm sure that he and Russ Ball want to get this done as soon as they can, and they're hoping that they can do it at something closer to their price and their structure than what the representatives for Jordan Love want it to be. But I don't think I don't think it's a need it situation. I don't think there's going to be this pressure that Goody feels where he's going to say, oh boy, we got to get this done. Family night's here and he's still not playing. I do think inside his brain, he probably has okay, if it gets to this point, we're going to have to cave and get this done because it's going to screw up our season. But I don't know when that is in his mind. It is in my mind, though, family night. Mm-hmm. I am a firm believer that they need to have him under contract by family. And he is under contract. I should say under a new contract by family night.
If I'm Goody and he hasn't signed this deal by family night, I don't think I'm going to family night. I'm not showing my face there because I do not want to get berated with questions and criticisms for not having this deal done.
Yeah, I don't. It's a good point. Because
or I'm staying in my luxury box where I don't have to worry about running into the common folk.
Yeah, that's a good place for you. I would quickly add, though, that I do think he wants this done solely for the ability to not have to worry about it anymore.
Yeah.
And because he feels like we were talking about earlier, that he has a Super Bowl team. And the sooner your quarterback that you think can lead you to a Super Bowl is on the field, the better. Hunter, what's next?
Need it or don't need it?
Do you think the ensemble cast of Packers wide receivers needs at least 3 full weeks of training camp practices with Jordan Love to be ready for the season?
Who said that? Somebody said that. One of our teammates somewhere said that they believe that it's 3 weeks is the timeline for that. Was that you, Hunter?
I did not. This was all written by Jesse Nelson, so I'm not sure where he got that from.
Maybe that's what Jesse Nelson thinks, because we're always interested in what Jesse Nelson thinks.
Yeah.
I'm also interested in what Hambone thinks.
I'm going to say I don't think that's the case. I think the ensemble cast needs to be practicing. I think Jordan Love could slide in and, the team is immediately going to be elevated. Sure, would an extra week of practice be better? Yeah. But is it going to be would it change the outcome of a game? I don't think so. I think Jordan Love knows this offense well enough where he's going to be able to slide in, hiccup free, and as long as this ensemble cast is figuring out where they need to be with the big red dog, Sean Clifford, then I think they're going to be just fine when Jordan Love can join. I don't think they need 3 weeks.
I think they will have plenty of time whenever he comes in, because they have history together, unlike Sean Clifford with these guys, right? I wrote about it in this morning's State Journal. I mean, he had a play yesterday or 2 days ago where he threw an interception that the ball was supposed to go. It's designed to go to Romeo Doubs on the backside. He threw it to Dontavion Wicks on the front side. It got picked. And he learned from it, and then the next time they queued that play up again, and he hit Dobbs for a conversion on 3rd and 4. So I think that there is value in this, and I also think, I said it earlier, but we talk about injuries and Jordan Love playing all 19 games and not missing any time. You hope that continues. You hope he has a Favre-like Iron Man streak. Mm-hmm. I don't think he will. I don't know if anybody ever will in today's game, but it's good that Sean Clifford is getting this work, because if he has to play in a game, he admitted it. He had never thrown a pass to Christian Watson or Romeo Doubs because they were always with the ones in camp last year. And he had thrown to some of the rookies because they were all rookies together, but he had never thrown to those guys, and now he has. Hunter, what's next?
Need it or don't need it?
I have a feeling I know where you guys are going to go with this one. But do you think Matt LaFleur feels like Jordan Love needs to get participating in practice as soon as possible? Kind of what you guys already answered, but again, Jesse Nelson wrote these.
Isn't that the same question? Boy, I'll give you this, Hunter. You've got some Jesse Nelson in you, because you do not waste any time in throwing him under the bus, just like he throws everyone else under the bus.
Oh no, I will own up when I make mistakes or I have a bad moment. I'll own it. But I'm also then going to remind people of who the mastermind of other bad moments is. Usually Jesse Nelson.
So I do think if Matt LaFleur is at a press conference and Jason Wilde had asked him, do you think Jordan Love needs to be participating in practice as soon as possible? He would say yes. That's good coach speak. That's the right answer. But in his heart, he knows, no, I don't need Jordan Love practicing immediately. The guy knows the playbook inside and out. He knows this football system. He's not the guy I'm concerned about. It's all the players around him being in the right spots, so when Jordan Love does eventually join this team, they're ready to go with him. So, yes, I see Matt LaFleur saying this. I don't think he believes it.
Yeah, I think there's no doubt that he wants him out there ASAP, and whether or not he's willing to admit that, whether or not he's going to downplay that, you're right. I think publicly he's going to make he's going to say all the right things because he's smart enough to do that now. Again, I don't know when Mark Murphy's going to speak to us again, but if anybody's going to say something that you're like, oh, I can't believe he said that, it's not going to be Matt LaFleur, I don't think. All right, that's it for Need It or Don't Need It. We need to play trivia while I make my way down to practice. You said that that Jesse Hunter did the show sheet, and we appreciate him doing that, by the way, leading into a day off.
Yeah.
Does that mean he also wrote the trivia, or did he let you do the trivia?
He also wrote the trivia. I think I'm still like kind of shadow banned, even though I'm no longer banned after the Gerald Ford trivia. He's been taking that out of my hands at every opportunity. So I just think that I'm shadow banned.
So from what I'm seeing here, the Olympic Games is the category.
Yep.
We will take, let's see, so you finished in first place
in 2018.
And won a gold medal. And you finished in fourth place
in 2022.
Add your two finishes together, and that's 5.
I mean, that's really nice. I was going to make Hunter do caller 18 for my gold medal in 2018.
That would have been mean.
Caller 5, 844-770-3776, 844-770-3776. Caller 5 will play trivia with Hunter and Matt, and then I will return for the 11 o'clock hour. So stick around. It's Wilde and Tausch.
On the air, on demand, on social, on Wisconsin Sports. Serving Wisconsin sports fans. This is 100.5 ESPN.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
You, rah, rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute.
This Badger Minute brought to you by Stoughton Trailers. Big trailers and big opportunity at Stoughton Trailers. Learn more about why a career at Stoughton Trailers might be for you. Go to stojobs.com.
How's this for a little Friday motivation? Wisconsin Badgers head coach Luke Fickell speaking earlier this week in Indianapolis at Big Ten Media Days about setting the championship standard for the Wisconsin football program.
We got to find the standards that give us an opportunity to grow. These are the standards that we know and believe give us the best opportunity to continue to grow our program and put us in a position to play for a championship, because that's the mentality, that's the objective, and that's what the University of Wisconsin and our football program deserves.
Order today from Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and pay as low as $18 per window and $81 per patio door per month. Visit PellaWI.com.
Join the Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock, for Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Get the information you need as you plan for retirement. That's Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Investment advisory services offer the Retirement Income Strategies, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
After a serious accident, you'll need a winning team to protect your rights. Trust Wisconsin's own Ruger's offices. Proud partner of your Milwaukee Brewers. One call, that's all.
If you're looking for a special piece of jewelry for any occasion, Condon Jewelers is always there for you. Condon Jewelers has the best selection of jewelry you'll ever find and guaranteed to have the lowest prices in the Madison area. Free shipping is always available. Visit CondonJeweler.com or call 241-3406 and ask for Jim, the owner, who's at the store every day. Shop locally. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
Forward Madison FC's professional soccer season is underway, and they want you to pack out Breeze Stevens Field. Need a night out with the whole family? Try the Forward Madison Family Special presented by MG&E. Score a ticket to the match, a meal, and an FMFC scarf, all for just $25 per person. Visit ForwardMadisonFC.com to purchase your tickets today. That's ForwardMadisonFC.com. Forward Madison, fun for all.
The ESPN Madison Open, presented by Coors Light, is back. On Monday, August 5th, the ESPN Madison crew is packing their bags and teeing off at Bishops Bay Country Club for a day on the links. The ESPN Madison Open is benefiting Miracle League of Dane County and is brought to you by Bishops Bay Country Club, Coors Light, Zimbrick Honda, Sunday Paper, Clear Vision Pro Wash, and Bruner Realty. Thank you for making a difference in our community.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer.
Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
Watch every ESPN Madison show live every day. Subscribe to ESPN Madison on YouTube for live video of every show and exclusive content. Just search ESPN Madison.
We are back with more Wilde and Tausch. I'm Matt Hamilton, your cousin sub of the day, and you know what? I'm not a guy who takes us in or out of segments, so I don't really know what I'm doing. But I do know we've got Mike and Franklin, and we're doing trivia, so Hunter, fire it up. All right, Mike in Franklin, how are you doing?
Good. How you doing, Matt?
I am doing fantastic. Sorry, you're getting definitely the B team for your trivia day today.
Yeah, sorry about that.
But
you're getting a B team contestant because I don't know a lot about the Olympics, so we'll see how it goes.
All right. Well, I think we'll have some fun with this. Let's just kick it off. First question right now. Which American musician carried the Olympic torch in a Paris suburb in one of the final legs before it reaches the opening ceremonies tonight? Is it A, Snoop Dogg, B, Elton John, or C, Pitbull?
I'm going to go with Snoop Dogg. I don't know if that's correct or not.
That is absolutely correct. And I'm pretty sure Elton John's English, so I don't know why he
is.
Okay, so there's your auto answer. Hunter, number 2. Oh, it's asked by me. Sorry, I got all of these.
You get all 3 of them.
Wow. Normally I get to alternate. All right, question number 2. Who's the head coach of the U.S. men's basketball team at the 2024 Paris Olympics? Is it Greg Popovich? Is it Dan Hurley? Or Steve Kerr?
I believe that's Steve Kerr.
That is a good one. That's a sneaky question because I believe Pop is on his staff. Hunter, do you know that?
I was gonna go Popovich, but I was when you said Kerr, they ringed in.
Yeah, it is Kerr, and I do believe Pop's on the staff.
He might be. I haven't paid attention other than knowing that Kerr is the head coach.
I think Popovich might be one of the assistants, but I'm not positive either.
Yeah, I think you're right. All right. Anyway, question 3. To get all 3 correct, big moment in the last couple days. Olympic news here. The head women's soccer coach from which of these countries has been suspended after the discovery of a drone flying over their opponent's closed practice earlier this week? Is it A, Japan, B, Canada, or C, Spain?
I have no clue, but I'll go with C, Spain.
It was the dirty, rotten Canadians.
Okay.
Well, that's 2. That's 2 out of 3. That's a pretty good showing, if I do say so myself. How crazy! Flying a drone over your opponents, like, what is this? The Bill Belichick of Canada?
Exactly.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for letting me play, guys.
Yeah, appreciate it, Mike. Have a great rest of your day. That was Wilde and Tausch Trivia. This is Wilde and Tausch. We'll be back in a couple minutes.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Mark Tauscher here for Chalmers Jewelers. I've been a big fan of Scott, Garrett, and the whole team at Chalmers Jewelers for years now. I go there, my friends go there, and most importantly, my wife loves it whenever I get her something from Chalmers Jewelers. It's my go-to spot for birthdays, anniversaries, and any special occasion. For quality jewelry and a great experience, choose Chalmers Jewelers, the place to go for that perfect gift. Stop at Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and Madison.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison.
Hey, it's Kelly Sheffield, Wisconsin Badgers volleyball head coach. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona, Madison, a good Karma Brands radio station.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
What is up, Madison? I'm Hunter Vaughn. Your Sports Center update is brought to you by Jim, Matt, and Molly, ESPN Madison's new show for your afternoon drive. Join Jim Rutledge, Matt Hamilton, and Molly Brown every weekday afternoon from 4 to 6, right here on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. There's no new news on Jordan Love's contract extension as his hold-in continues and goes into day number 5 now. But you can stay up to date on everything Green Bay Packers related and Jordan Love related right here on ESPN Wisconsin and over at ESPNWisconsin.com, as we'll even have Jason Wilde live from training camp practice coming up in a few moments. On to Major League Baseball. The first place Milwaukee Brewers are back in action tonight after a day off yesterday. The Brew Crew starts a 3-game home series hosting the Miami Marlins. Fastball Freddie Peralta is on the bump for the Brewers. He'll be taking on Trevor Rogers of the Marlins. First pitch for that one is at 7:10. The Milwaukee Brewers currently have a 6-game lead in the NL Central. Wilde and Tausch continues next.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
The 11 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch begins now. How'd trivia go, boys? What'd I miss?
It went really well. We almost had 3, got the first 2, and the last one ended up being a guess for him. Do you think you'd have got it? Do you know which women's soccer coach got suspended after flying drones over other teams' closed practices?
Canada's.
There you go. So you nailed it.
Yeah.
Saw that story. Yeah, cheaters. Those Canadians.
Yeah.
Do they cheat at curling too?
No, they don't. But I do like to pretend like there's a big rivalry there. It's kind of like the Bears and the Packers, though. As of late, we don't.
They've owned you.
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, not really at the Olympics, but I guess they beat us in the bronze game, so I should say that. We beat them twice to win gold, but yeah, for the most part, Canada beats us up. So
Are they at least cool dudes? Like, are they fun to hang out with?
50-50, depends on the team. The team that we played in, actually, honestly, the last 2 Canadian Olympic teams, they weren't my favorite. They're not bad guys, but they're not my favorite to hang out with. Out with, like,
is
outside.
that just because they drink that Canadian beer and they don't drink Coors Light like you do, or is there more waxy buildup than that? You know, I'm a reporter. I'm going to ask you the tough questions, brother.
So one of the cool parts about curling when I started was at the end of the night, last game of the day, or your last game of the day, you'd hang out and have a beer or at least sit down with the other team and chat. And these guys are like 50-50 on whether they do that or not. If they beat you, they're more than willing to sit down and have a chat. If you beat them, they go home. So, you know, they're perfectly fine guys. They just take losing hard. So, I don't know. That's kind of why
don't you?
Not so hard that I'm not going to like sit down with the other team and enjoy myself after a game. You know, plus the winners buy the losers a beer. So that's a free Coors Light, baby.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, we are not into the competitive periods of practice yet. The still routes on air for the receivers. We got a little bit of offensive lineman drill work going on. But we will get into 11 on 11 a little bit later in practice when things get more competitive. And I'm sure guys are still having beers together after practices because there's no Canadians on the roster.
Right.
I do think it's interesting to come down here, Matt, because as I walk, and again, I don't want to play too much on your fandom, but this is a different dynamic than when Bulaga fills in or when Tausch is on the show, because those guys, they've got the former player perspective, and then
Right.
Homer's got the crazy old man / goat of Wisconsin sports talk radio history angle. And with you, you're a Packers fan. You're a world champion and Olympic champion curler, but when it comes to football, you're knowledgeable, but you're a fan. And so as I walk down here and I pass people, taking pictures in front of the sign and the kids on the bikes that are out here every day, like, I'm curious, like, you deal with Jim Rutledge on a regular basis, and I don't know how he would describe Bears fans, because, I mean, let's be honest, he's a Bears fan, and he can be obnoxious. Whether or not, Packers fans, believe me, there are some Packers fans that can be obnoxious too. But when you think about kind of your Packers fandom, I feel like training camp is the time where we're reminded of just how unique this group is. Have you ever been up here during training camp, or has that coincided with your intensive Olympic training?
You know what? I was very jealous of some friends when I was younger. Their parents put their bike in the car and drove them up to training camp to try and get on that dream drive, and I never got to go. So I have not been up for training camp. I've been up for preseason games and stuff, but never for like the training camp. I think I was there for a summer camp in the Green Bay Curling Club, which is across the street, so I was able to stand by the fence. And I watched some like training camp through like the fence a little bit, but never intentionally just for training camp. Typically I'm waiting for news to come out. I'm waiting for the paper to come so I can see Jason Wilde write some story about whoever.
Well, what
Brett
do you got
Favre.
going on next week?
Next week?
Come on up.
Yeah, honestly.
You can hang out with me.
I might be able to swing late next
We'll
week.
get you credentialed. Credentialed.
I've got a Tauscher weekend coming up, so I won't be back until like Wednesday.
I am acutely aware of that. Packers are getting some of their guys back that have been missing time. Corey Ballantyne appears to have been cleared, one of their corners that played a bunch last year. Caleb Jones, the offensive lineman, he's enormous. Like, he's 6'8", 6'9", 350 pounds. Would he be a good curler, or is he just wouldn't have a broom that would fit him, right?
Yeah, tough to say with those big guys whether they be good curlers or not, because there's not a ton of really giant dudes curling. So I don't know. But you're right. The curling broom would have – you'd have to make sure you have the right technique, because you could snap that pretty easily, and if you snap your curling broom on ice, you're going down.
They are without Robert Rochelle, who has a calf injury. He's been added to the injury list, but they are getting healthy as we get ready for the first padded practice tomorrow, which, oh, by the way, is when then guys get hurt again, right?
Right.
I mean, the physicality goes up and guys start to get some bumps and bruises. So we'll see how they progress through the week. Now, it's interesting because they had yesterday off as mandated by the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Today is once again a no pads practice, and then they'll be in pads on Saturday for the first time. And that's, for me anyway, that's when I feel like camp really starts. Now, Tausch would tell you back in the day that camp really started on day one, because not only were they in pads on day one, they were in pads in the morning on day one, and then they practiced again in the afternoon in pads on day one. So this is kind of today and the first 3 days. It's a little bit like watching the off-season program and OTAs. Looks a lot the same. They're in shorts, helmets, and jerseys. There's no true contact, although the offensive linemen and defensive linemen do get after it to some degree. But tomorrow will be the big day when we really start to get a feel for okay, what do they have here, and what is it going to look like when guys are in pads and getting after each other? I'm really eager, Matt, and I'm curious about you. You know, there are so many storylines that I focus on during camp, right?
Mhm.
And the Jordan Love, that's one of the reasons why Jordan Love, he's not out of sight, out of mind, because he's here. Like, he's watching practice. I can see him right now standing
Right.
behind the quarterbacks as they're throwing. But he's out of practice, out of mind for me anyway, because he's not doing anything during the time that I get to see him. So I'm thinking more about the offensive line and what their depth looks like. I'm thinking more about how, as we talked about earlier, Clifford the Big Red Dog has performed. It's funny that he has red hair, by the way.
Well, I know. That's why. That's why.
And I love Clifford the Big Red Dog and Emily Elizabeth and the whole crew. I'm thinking about, you know, some of the players that are facing critical seasons, right? I wrote about A.J. Dillon a couple of days ago and how he's come back in such incredible shape. And quite frankly, he needs to, right? Because he is fighting for his football career after 4 seasons where things have not taken off for him. He's been great in the community. He's beloved fan favorite.
Yeah.
But, you know, he had 6 games last year when Aaron Jones was injured that he started, and he managed 335 yards on the ground and averaged 3.4 yards per carry. They need him to be better, and he looks like he has done everything he can to put himself in position to succeed. So those are some of the storylines I've paid attention to. But the one that I'm really interested in starting tomorrow is, what does this defense look like when the pads come on? And I'm curious for you as a fan, as you're watching or listening or reading, how much of this defense has your focus? Because we're not talking about what Jordan Love looks like. We're not talking about other aspects of this team. And to me, that's the aspect that I am the most fascinated by far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. It's probably got my interest peaked the most as well, because you got a new coordinator. We got Xavier McKinney, which was a huge pickup. And not only like new coordinator, totally new system. We went from a 3-4 to a 4-3, and like I know that there's guys who are positioned better for it, and it still kind of runs like a 3-4. But it's technically a 4-3. Like, I understand that, and I'm probably not going to really be able to tell a whole heck of a lot of difference other than the way they line up pre-snap. But I'm just excited for some fresh new blood. Like, I know Hafley's not a guarantee to like knock it out of the park and be the best defensive coordinator the Packers have ever had. But I was just ready to move on. I was ready for something new, and this defense has me excited this year. We put some money into it getting Xavier. We made some pretty good moves in the draft to get some young players like Bullard. So I'm excited for this defense. The offense I'm nervous for, because I feel like they've got like an expectation now. This defense, if their expectation is to be slightly better than the Joe Barry defense, I feel like that's very achievable. This offense, if their expectation is do what you did at the end of last season, that makes me nervous. So that's why I'm excited for the D.
Well, and I think the biggest thing, and this is something that we've talked about certainly on this show, but that the players have talked about a ton, and that is the more aggressive approach. Now, look, I will be the first one to admit that when the conversation about this new system was, it's going to be more aggressive, I thought, well, yeah, but whenever they change coordinators, no coordinator ever comes in and says, yeah, we're going to play it safe more. We're going to be less aggressive. We're going to just sort of sit back. Now, that's what Joe Barry's defense often did, right? Was
bend, don't break, kind of.
And
what they wanted to.
that whole umbrella, the keep everything in front of you kind of approach.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact of the matter is that every coordinator talks a good game about aggressiveness. But what I think we've seen, and again, tomorrow will be an even better indicator of that, when the defensive linemen and offensive linemen have pads on and they really get after it, is what exactly is this aggressiveness going to look like, and how is it going to help? Because we've heard defensive players talk about it a lot, that as opposed to what was a 2-gap system where if you were a defender and you were up front on the line, you had 2 gaps that you were responsible for, and you had to read the play and then react and go to 1 gap or the other, one of the 2 that you're responsible for. Now that's gone. Kenny Clark and Devontae Wyatt and TJ Slate and all those big uglies, as Keith Jackson used to call them, up front are now going to get after guys.
Yeah.
And it's one gap that they have to be responsible for, and they're going to try and get into that gap and get up the field and disrupt things. And so how effectively will they do that? How will that look? That's what we're eager to see. And so that, right now, at the end of the field that I'm at, right now they're running routes on air in the red zone. So, fans, you can hear them in the background cheering for catches and stuff like that. But, let's be honest, there is no defense. Like, they've got some assistant coaches giving token defensive coverage. Like, tomorrow, when they get into 11-on-11, we're going to see if this aggressive approach defensively disrupts what they want to do offensively. And how is Sean Clifford going to handle that? How is the offensive line going to protect him? Because let's be honest, through the first few days of what we've seen here at camp, they have not protected him very well. That has been another component of his, less than stellar play in Jordan Love's place. So that's something we're looking forward to, but there's no denying that the players have talked again and again and again about how this is going to be so good for them because they get to be more aggressive. They do less thinking. They do more attacking. Now, I still go back to what Jason Rebrovich, the defensive line coach, said when I asked him, okay, if that's your approach, that's great, and everybody gets excited to hear it. But what are the drawbacks? What's the downside to taking that approach? And, he claimed there isn't one. I don't believe that.
I
right?
don't either.
One of the dangers of being aggressive is that if you get washed out of your gap, then there's a wide open space for the running back to go through, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's among the things that we're going to see how effective it is because no defense is impenetrable.
There is no drawback. Then why isn't everybody in the league doing it?
Right.
If there's no
exactly.
drawback to being aggressive.
Yeah, that's
what a funny answer you got.
It was. I'd be lying if I said I didn't roll my eyes when I got that answer. But again, sometimes you don't get to control the answers. You only get to ask the questions, and you hope for good answers. We've gotten great answers from Matt Hamilton, our cousin sub of the day, throughout the show. We'll get more from training camp practice and talk more about where this team looks like it's headed and what's going on. And we'll have some fun along the way, too. Plus, Whoa Hunter still coming up and Feel Good Friday, painted by Hallman Lindsay Paints, where I will finally get to talk about my Optimist League Cardinals softball team and what they accomplished in spite of the mediocre coaching that they dealt with from the head coach throughout their season. That's all still ahead. Before we can get to any of that, though, Tausch has got to tell us about what Fortria has going on. Here's Tausch about Fortria and more Wilde and Tausch straight ahead. Stick around.
Mark Tauscher here for FortriaClinicalTrials.com. Well, we all are looking to get a little extra cash in our pockets, and if that's you, head over to FortriaClinicalTrials.com. They have a bunch of different studies that will do exactly that, put a little cash in your pocket. Healthy men, ages 18 to 55 with a body mass index of 18 to 32. The study involves one stay of 6 nights, and you can be compensated up to $3,290 for your time and participation if you refer a friend. $200 per qualified referral. They also have studies that are looking for healthy adults, ages 18 to 60. Body mass index between 18 and 32. That study involves one stay of 14 nights, 11 follow-up visits, and woo, dog, you can be compensated up to $13,006 for your time and participation. Just head over to FortriaClinicalTrials.com. That's Fortria, Fortrea, clinicaltrials.com.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
For official rules and more information about every contest on 100.5 ESPN, visit ESPNWisconsinContests.com. That's ESPNWisconsinContests.com. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN app.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
Stoughton Health, in collaboration with patient and family advisors, seeks to advance the healthcare experience at Stoughton Health by providing a forum for past patients and families to provide feedback on a variety of healthcare and other related topics. Advisors offer constructive feedback on their personal journey at Stoughton Health, helping to elevate the patient experience and increase satisfaction. Interested? Please call Amy at 608-873-2308.
Discover a new generation of Audi featuring the all-electric Audi e-tron models. You can save $7,500 on select Audi EVs with the AFS EV lease bonus. See dealer for details and exclusions. Eligibility is subject to credit approval through Audi Financial Services. Cannot be combined with national customer credit. Offer expires July 31st of 2024. Stop in and test drive today. The Summer of Audi sales event is here. Check out our website to see our current qualifying inventory. Start your adventure at Zimbrick Audi of Madison today, off the Beltline and Rimrock Road.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
The pulse of the Milwaukee Bucks, straight from a Bucks legend.
Can't get it off. Marcus Johnson will, though. Can't leave him alone for a 12.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson on Bucks Plus. Marcus and his son Chris offer a weekly beat on Bucks basketball. Get your questions answered and hear from the biggest names in basketball. Find Here District with Marcus Johnson at bucks.com/plus on the Bucks app or wherever you get your podcasts.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
Searching for the perfect brunch spot this weekend? Look no further than the Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company. Every Saturday and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., indulge in the Great Dane sweet and savory brunch menu paired with mimosas, Bloody Marys, or one of their signature beers on tap. Enjoy at any of their 4 Madison area pubs, downtown, Hilldale, Fitchburg, or East Madison. Learn more and view the full menu at greatdanepub.com/brunch. Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company, Madison's original brew pub since 1994.
After a serious accident, you'll need a winning team to protect your rights. Trust Wisconsin's own Ruger Law Offices, proud partner of your Milwaukee Brewers. One call, that's all.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
The Packers offense continues to dominate against air in the red zone.
That's so awesome. That's great news. Thank you.
So when you, I know you've got some Packers questions for me, I'm sure.
Yes.
As the crowd cheers as we return from commercial. But when you practice, like, do you guys scrimmage? Do you have do you put stones from the air quotes opposition in specific spots for you to work on to like for positioning purposes? Like what exactly is it that you do when you're practicing? Because the routes on air, I think there's value in that. I'm not making fun of it because you got to get your steps right. You got to run your route properly. And this is how you learn and improve and sharpen your skills, right? So how do you guys do it with Team Schuster before we get to any Packers questions you have?
So one of the interesting things about curling is I feel like practice might be a tiny bit harder than a game.
What?
Yeah. So hear me out now. In a game, you've got two sweepers, and as well as you, the shooter, or when you're shooting, you've got a pair of eyes on the rock. You've got the captain or the skip of the team who's also watching the rock. So you've got two guys watching it for curl, and then you have two sweepers to sweep. So when I'm setting up shots in practice, and if I'm by myself, I don't have sweepers, so my margin of error goes from, a decent size to nothing. So throwing kind of like what you're saying, like throwing practice shots against air is a little harder in curling, where it's the opposite in football. So I think that's kind of interesting. Just because I don't have some of the manipulation abilities of a sweeper to affect the outcome of my shot.
Oh, you're plenty manipulative, let's be honest. All right, so you have a question for me as I stand here in the tiny sliver of shade far away from my colleagues, so I'm not annoying them by forcing them to listen to half of a radio show.
Fair. I think they would thank you if they knew that you were doing this for that reason. Now, my question for you is, obviously, we've been talking, hold out, hold in. It's a hold in because Jordan Love is there. Jordan Love also technically under contract, so he can be there. Is he allowed to just indefinitely just be around, or do they have to put him on some sort of PUP list at some point if no deal is done? Like, what's that look like? Is he really allowed to just be present but not practice?
Yeah, he is. And they obviously reached some sort of an agreement between the team and his representatives and him that they were going to be okay with this and that this was acceptable to them and they weren't going to fine him. So a number of years ago in the collective bargaining agreement, they made a pretty significant change, and it was something that I still, for the life of me, do not understand why players agreed to it, especially considering that they smushed in the 17th game into the schedule. Now we're going to see them push for an 18th game in the schedule. I'm not criticizing because I am a terrible negotiator. Anybody who buys something on Poshmark or eBay from me or Facebook Marketplace, I'm not exactly going to drive a hard bargain, right? So it's a little bit disingenuous for me, but I think in this instance, it's fair. They fought for such stupid things like less contact in the off season and less practice time, which I understand, right? I want more time off too. I get that part of it, but one of the things that they gave up was that when you hold out, if you're under contract and you don't report and you're not on your rookie contract anymore, that you are automatically fined and there is no rescinding or forgiving the fines. They have to be enforced. And so, remember in 2021 when I argued that Davante Adams should have come to camp and reported but then not participated? It's what Brandon Ayuk's doing right now. If you don't come, you get fined. Like Trent Williams in San Francisco is going to get fined for every day he's not there. He did not report to camp. Ayuk is there, at least for now, to avoid having to pay, I think, $40,000 a day, if I remember correctly.
That's what I think we heard too.
Is the fine. So Jordan is avoiding that by being here, and they obviously agreed to that. Now, if things, I had somebody ask me the other day, well, could he leave? He could, but once he leaves, then he's going to start getting fined. And Davante, if you remember what he said that summer, I'm not giving back any money I've already earned. So that's why he didn't hold out. Now, I would argue that he should have done what Jordan Love's doing. Look, you guys, I'm not doing this. I'm not playing my final season on this contract at enormous risk, especially at that position where you go over the middle and get crunched.
Right.
And he'd probably still be here. He would have gotten what he wanted from a contract after getting lowballed initially. But he did the air quotes right thing, and he just came to practice and worked and whatever else. I've said this before. I am proud of Jordan Love for doing this, because the easy thing to do would be to bend to the pressure, and the team wants me there. My teammates would love for me to be practicing. I think the biggest thing about this whole hold in is that all these guys have his back. Right. All of them up and down the roster are like, look, he's here. He's taking part in the meetings. He's taking part in the walkthroughs. He's here for everything. He's not practicing because of the risk. But and my favorite quotes, my favorite quote was from, and they're playing Coldplay. I can get back to my Coldplay question. That my favorite quote was from Christian Watson, who said, "We want him to get every penny he deserves and more." Now, that's a guy who is not getting to work with him because he's not practicing, and that's his take on it. So that tells you how they feel about him. But to your question, that's why he's here, because of that fine structure, and you don't want to have to be – because remember, technically he's not on his rookie contract anymore. They didn't pick up the fifth-year option. They signed him to that one-year extension, that half measure of a contract. So that tied his hands as much as it tied the Packers' hands. Had he been on his rookie contract, they couldn't have fined him. But unfortunately for him, they can, and that's why he's here. So before we get to Woe Hunter, because the Rainichke Field DJ is playing Coldplay, I go in musical spurts, right? Like our friend Paula's and my friend Matt Carney, who's just an unbelievable guy and a ridiculous musician. You know, I'll listen to him, especially when he has a new album out, over and over and over again. The girls will, Sydney will want me to play some Taylor Swift to break up Matt's playlists, but I'll be listening to him. Or we have another friend, Willie Porter, that we love to listen to. But I go in other spurts, like random ones. Like I went through a phase where I listened to Boston for a little while.
Okay.
Or Oasis. And the last couple of days, I've been listening to a lot of Coldplay, and I feel like Coldplay, for a lot of people, is like one step above, like, I don't know.
Nickelback?
Nickelback would be that's a perfect example. Why do people hate on Coldplay? I think it's amazing. You play their playlist, and you get like 25 songs deep of songs that all like made the charts and were played heavily on the radio that and you can sing along to. And you're like 25 songs into the playlist on Spotify.
Yeah, yeah.
Why the hate, man? Are you a hater?
I wouldn't say I'm a hater. So the argument for Nickelback is that it's very like formulaic stadium rock, right?
Okay.
And I feel like Coldplay can kind of fall into that a little formulaic. Sounds like everybody, but they have their own sound. Like at the same time, they literally are like a different genre of Nickelback, is I think how they're viewed.
There's also I think it was the Judd Apatow comedy where Seth Rogen gets the girl pregnant. I can't remember the name of it now, but in that Knocked Up. And in that there's a scene where the two guys make fun of like someone who listens to Coldplay.
Right, yeah.
So I feel like for my generation, that's a part of it. Where you just like associate that joke
with memes and gifs, right?
So it's just fun to make fun of them.
That's the same reason Strofe thinks Nicolas Cage is a bad actor, is because there's so many memes about Nick Cage. Nick Cage is great. He kind of got blackballed, and I think that's kind of what happened to Nickelback and Coldplay.
Josh DiMaggio on the private talk and text line. It's waiting room music. Inoffensive and omnipresent. Those aren't positives. That's not like he's like, I called it inoffensive. Yeah, that's not praise.
Yeah, it doesn't offend my ears is not like good job. That's great music. They're very different phrases.
That sounds like a poll question someday. Do you like or hate Nickelback, and do you like or hate Coldplay? I wonder what those numbers would look like comparatively. I feel like Nickelback would still get more haters than Coldplay. But
yeah.
What the heck do I know?
They've had a resurgence lately, though.
Are you still on your Coldplay playlist? What's your top song right now?
That's a good question. There's one that I've been playing in, I also have another problem that irritates my family members. I don't know if you have this same issue, but if there's a song that I really like, I start playing it and over again. I keep hitting the back button, playing it. Every Tear is a Waterfall, I believe, is the one that I've been overplaying lately and irritating people with. So, yeah, that's I'm definitely guilty of that. All right, we need to get to Whoa Hunter. I feel like Hunter has not gotten nearly enough airtime, certainly in comparison to the amount of airtime Jesse gets when he's here. So we will get to Whoa Hunter coming up next after Tausch tells us about what AmFam has going on with Dream Drive and everything else. More Wilde and Tausch with Matt Hamilton and Hunter Vaughn as our cousin subs of the day. Stick around. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Packer fans, Dream Drive is back. Come on down to Lambeau Field to kick off another year of big smiles in less than a mile. Little Packer fans can ride between Lambeau and training camp with their own bike or on one from the American Family Insurance fleet alongside of Packers players. American Family Insurance continues to support this heartwarming event, mobilizing the community to realize their dreams as they ride safe and protected. Join American Family Insurance for another historic year as we keep the tradition moving. Grab your wheels and let's ride, Green Bay. American Family Mutual Insurance, S&I, its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
After a serious accident, you'll need a winning team to protect your rights. Trust Wisconsin's own Ruger Law Offices. Proud partner of your Milwaukee Brewers. One call, that's all.
Mark Tauscher here for Chalmers Jewelers. I've been a big fan of Scott Garrett and the whole team at Chalmers Jewelers for years now. I go there, my friends go there, and most importantly, my wife loves it whenever I get her something from Chalmers Jewelers. It's my go-to spot for birthdays, anniversaries, and any special occasion. For quality jewelry and a great experience, choose Chalmers Jewelers, the place to go for that perfect gift. Stop at Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and Madison.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison. Hey, it's Hunter Vaughn. ESPN Madison and Zimbrick Honda are celebrating the area's best high school sports stories with the Game Changers of the Month. Follow ESPN Madison on social media to see teams making an impact in their community. Nominate your local team today at ESPNMadisonGameChangers.com.
Wow, Wayne, that is a beautiful window.
It sure is, Jeff. It really tackles energy efficiency.
Sure has a nice slide.
It's one of the best screenplays I've ever seen.
They're so easy to close. I'd say it's a grand slam.
If you guys keep making those dad jokes, you're going to be a real pain in my neck.
Oh, that's a good one. Did you hear about this one?
Get as low as $18 per window and $81 per patio door per month.
Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply on 7/31/2024.
Greg Scalzo here for Buck and Honeys. Congratulations to the perennial Best of Madison Award winner by the folks at Madison Magazine. Meet me at Buck and Honeys to celebrate Wisconsin hospitality. Whether you're enjoying the view on the Yahara River in Monona, exploring Wanakee, visiting the OG in Sun Prairie, or checking out the new location in Mount Horeb, you can enjoy the Buck and Honeys experience in a neighborhood near you. Serving lunch and dinner 7 days a week with brunch every Saturday and Sunday. I'll see you at Buck and Honeys.
Derek Jeter for American Family Insurance.
Life's better when you're under the American Family Insurance roof because they'll help protect your family's dreams. Whether it's a kid like me aiming for the big leagues, a future rocket scientist, or a budding prima ballerina, you can count on an American Family Insurance agent to help you dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Attention, business owners and executives. Looking for a bank that's invested in your community as you are? Look no further than Starion Bank. As a Dane County community bank, Starion offers competitive deposit and loan rates while actively supporting local initiatives. Visit a business banker at one of our convenient branches in Middleton, Monona, and Sun Prairie. Starion Bank, full-service business banking, lending, and cash management.
My Aunt Bella was telling a story, and her speech was a bit slurred. Her smile was drooping. Was she having a stroke? I knew it was time to run through the B Fast checklist. B, balance. Bella was fine. E, eyes. Her vision was fine. F, face. Oh, the drooping. A, arms. She could lift both arms. S, speech. Oh, definitely slurred. T, terrible headache. She had one. Signs of a stroke. I called 911 and saved Aunt Bella's life.
Brought to you by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services Covered Health Stroke Program.
Your Honda gets you everywhere. When it needs service, you need Zimbrick Honda service. Their customer service is second to none, and you can experience it yourself at 2 convenient Madison locations on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. Honda certified technicians handle it all. You can even get flexible payment options. Fix your car now and pay later. Apply online to see your options in seconds with no hard credit check. Make your service appointment online at ZimbrickHonda.com. Zimbrick Honda Service Center on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. Part of the Madison community since 1973. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
Like, share, and follow ESPN Madison everywhere. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok for more great content from ESPN Madison. This is 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
I'm dancing at practice as the dulcet and inoffensive waiting room tones of Coldplay bring us back and lead us into Whoa, Hunter.
If the topic is good, the guys discuss.
Just the other morning I had breakfast at Tracy Rocker's house. His mama brought out 15 flapjacks. He said, Mama, take back 5 of them flapjacks. I gotta stay hungry for the Crimson Tide.
But if it's not, the show must go on. It's time for
Whoa, Nelly!
On Wilde and Tausch.
So I've been playing a obscene amount of college football 25. And
as one does.
Yeah, I'm obsessed with it. Like, I woke up this morning and started thinking about recruiting strategy for my dynasty. Like, it's bad. It's getting really bad.
Hunter, before you get further into this, especially considering you have an old man on the panel whose children do not have a gaming system. They don't have PlayStation or Xbox or anything like that at this juncture. What is the allure of this? And was this the game that was for a while gone and has now made a comeback with the NIL and player and the Ed O'Bannon case and everything else? Give us old people a better understanding of why this is such a big deal.
Yeah, so this game has been gone for 11 years. The last one they did was NCAA 14, which actually came out in 2013.
Was that the one with Larry Fitzgerald on the cover?
No, that was Denard Robinson. Larry Fitzgerald would have been
long time ago, 05?
05, I believe, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And this one came back, and it's been incredible. The gameplay is great. The recruiting is super in-depth. Like, they have, like, the recruit's preference of, like, are they looking for academics or program tradition or brand exposure? And you can tailor your recruitment to them based off of those things. So I've gotten super deep into this game.
Sounds like it.
And last
night...
Wait,
what school do you play as?
So I started as the OC at Toledo. After a year there, went on...
what?
Yep. You got to start at a lower end school.
You're working your way up the coaching ladder?
Yeah. I spent a year there, went to Minnesota.
I was a grad assistant at Akron.
Well, maybe that's where I started, since my pipeline is also for recruiting Ohio, and I started in Toledo, but I made my alma mater Wisconsin. Year 2, I went to Minnesota. And then year 3 was the OC at Notre Dame, lost in the college football semifinals to Georgia, and now I got the head coaching job at Wisconsin.
Okay.
So,
but you had to go through Minnesota to get there.
I did, but I had to just prove that I was ready to be a head coach. And as I was playing, my quarterback was having an incredible game. I threw 5 touchdown passes with this air raid offense. And then Reese Davis in the game says, and I quote, "For the love of Tolzien and Stocco, what's going on today?" Do I have virtual beef with Reese Davis? Because I feel like he was taking a shot at me.
That's hilarious.
Hunter, I got to say, I admire, and again, this is a judgment-free zone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
I love that you're excited about this. I think anything you get excited about, even if it's a video game that maybe I don't appreciate how amazing this is. Like, remember, like, if you've ever seen the movie Swingers, which you guys are borderline too young for anyway, they're playing like NHL 95. That's my era of gaming. So I am going to defer to Matt on answering this query.
No, you don't have beef. I do. That is an awesome callback.
Yeah.
To like a Badgers past. I think that's fantastic. So, no. I think you're within your rights to have like a little giggle and wonder if this game is like actually inside your head, which clearly it is, but it was unintentional. Hunter, you should just let it roll off your back like a duck in water.
Okay.
Whoa, Nelly!
As I was getting things set up today for the show, I heard on Unsportsmanlike that there's a little bit of beef between now Michelle Smallman and our ESPN Chicago team, because apparently she was banned from Cap and J Hood for saying that the Bears aren't at all contenders. So Jason, I think you should feel good about Michelle potentially picking the Packers here as her NFL team, which I know you've been courting her almost all summer.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I think Jesse and Tausch have been doing more courting. I wanted to be part of the team, but I'm going to say the quiet part out loud. She can be a fan of whoever she wants. And if she chooses some other team, I'm going to be okay, but I'm a little worried about whether she'll be okay. Because as we tried to convince her at the time, her whole problem stems from the fact that her team left her, right? She was a St. Louis Rams fan. She spent so much time in St. Louis. That was her team, and they moved. They up and moved. Now, I'm not saying that the Bears are going to move, although they still haven't figured out exactly what their stadium situation is going to look like. But, like, the Packers are the one team that can make her an ironclad promise that they ain't going anywhere ever for as long as they both shall live. And so if she chooses someone else who wants to take that risk because she's got a crush on Joe Burrow, that's her problem. I will say this. I don't know why you would ban her from your show. I'm not here to judge Cap and Jay Hood. They do a great show for ESPN Chicago. But, like, she's so good. Like, I understand that there are people that prefer, let's say, men to talk sports. She is extremely well versed in everything. Like, she is phenomenal at what she does. And if you're a chauvinist who doesn't want to listen to her, that's your loss, because she's fantastic. That said, she can be a fan of whoever the hell she wants, because I'll be fine either way.
Yeah, Wilde, for men that don't want to listen to female sports, they clearly haven't listened to Molly Brown give her
She's
take
the best
on
thing that's
Packers
happened to that show since it started.
100%. She is way more impactful than my fourth place finish.
Well, that and the fact that you're very rarely there, so we had to have somebody that could be consistently on the show.
We say that now as she's pregnant with twins. She's going to be gone as much as I am this year. Come on, Molly.
Wait a minute. Was that public knowledge? Did I miss that email?
Yeah, we did it. We did it on the opening of our show the first day. I pretended to, like, out her. And then she's like, well, thanks, Matt. No one knew. So, yes, it is public knowledge now.
Wow. Talk about kicking things off with a bang.
Yeah, exactly. We were just trying to go for them ratings, baby. I think Smallman can pick whoever she wants. I love that you guys are trying to, like, court her. But you're right. Green Bay's not going anywhere. It's one of those teams, like, you want to get involved with a team with history. That's the one. It's been around since basically the inception of football in America, and it's going to be until football is no longer a thing. So I think you're right, Jason.
All right. Well, she has also gotten a lot of. I mean, what's the holdup here? I feel like this conversation was like 3 months ago now, and she still hasn't picked somebody yet.
Well, just kind of waiting for the market. A little bit of hold in right now because she's still working at ESPN.
Got to work the ratings, Jason.
Exactly.
Come on.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I'm not good at that. That's for sure. I guess I'll have to announce that I'm pregnant with twins to really help that. All right. That's it for Woe Hunter. We need to have some time to get to Feel Good Friday, painted by Home and Lindsay Paints. We will wrap up the week and wrap up the show with that next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
What's up, Madison? It's head coach Kelly Sheffield.
Wisconsin proved they were the number one team in the country tonight.
You're listening to Madison's new home for Wisconsin Badger volleyball, 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
Mark Tauscher here, and even though I'm off the show today, it's still Feel Good Friday on Wilde and Tausch, painted by Home and Lindsay Paints. Stick around to hear some of the best Feel Good stories of the week coming up to close out today's show. I am not spending my time off painting my house because our family trusted Home and Lindsay's great team of pro painters before. They're super easy to get in touch with, and they do a tremendous job. All you have to do is stop into any Madison area Home and Lindsay location and ask a member of their team. They'll get you in touch with the best pro for your job. From hot summer days to brisk winter nights, Home and Lindsay is the one paint that can withstand the challenges of Wisconsin's weather year-round. That's why we can say Home and Lindsay truly is Wisconsin's best paint. Home and Lindsay, great paint, great people. And check them out at homeandlindsay.com. And stick around for Feel Good Friday, coming up to close out today's show, painted by Home and Lindsay Paints.
Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute.
This Badger Minute brought to you by the Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company, Madison's home for craft beer and pub food since 1994. Find the Great Dane nearest you at greatdanepub.com.
With this Badger Minute, I'm Jesse Nelson. How's this for a little Friday motivation? Wisconsin Badgers head coach Luke Fickell speaking earlier this week in Indianapolis at Big Ten Media Days about setting the championship standard for the Wisconsin football program.
We got to find the standards that give us an opportunity to grow. These are the standards that we know and believe give us the best opportunity to continue to grow our program and put us in a position to play for a championship, because that's the mentality, that's the objective, and that's what the University of Wisconsin and our football program deserves.
Order today from Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and pay as low as $18 per window and $81 per patio door per month. Visit PellaWI.com.
Join the Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock, for Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Get the information you need as you plan for retirement. That's Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Income Strategies, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
What is a better buying experience? Well, you're minutes away from a better buying experience at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb. Jim Rutledge here. To me, a better buying experience is a personal experience. You're going to have the experience that you're looking for at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb. They're going to get you in the vehicle that you need and that you want. If you're in the market for a new or new-to-you Chevy Silverado or Colorado, I recommend Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb. You're only minutes away from a better buying experience at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb.
What's on Tap, brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light beer. Rooting for the Brew Crew, because we're from Milwaukee too. Tastes like Miller time.
Collect a Bob Uecker Harry Doyle bobblehead at the Brewers game on August 17th, courtesy of Chevrolet. Inspired by Uecker's legendary role in the film Major League, the first 30,000 fans through the gates will get this special bobble. Get your tickets at brewers.com/giveaways.
Milwaukee Brewers baseball and Miller Lite.
You know Fleet Farm's got everything for everyday life. But did you know we also have the best prices guaranteed every day? Like 40 pounds of Diamond Crystal Softener Salt, on sale now for just $5.69. Or a 40-pound bag of Black Oil Sunflower Seed, on sale for $17.49. And on the odd day you find a lower price, we'll match it. Any day, every day. Fleet Farm's got everything you need for everyday life, all at the best prices. Guaranteed.
Since 1961, Stoughton Trailers has been a family-owned and operated business with 3 generations calling Stoughton home for over 60 years. To continue their growth and support for their local community, Stoughton Trailers is building a new corporate headquarters right here in Stoughton. This new HQ is designed to promote the physical, mental, and business health of Stoughton Trailers and its employees. Stoughton Trailers, looking forward to the limitless possibilities that lie ahead. Stoughton Trailers, the best is yet to come.
You gotta get down on Friday. It's time to finish the week off right. It's Feel Good Friday on Wilde and Tausch, painted by Hallman Lindsay.
Hey, feeling good, like I should. When in dark, walk around the neighborhood. Feeling blessed, never stressed. Got that sunshine on my Sunday best. Every day can be a better day despite the challenge.
We wrap up the week with Feel Good Friday, painted by Hallman Lindsay Paints. And I try on this show, Matt, to make it not about me.
All right.
Tausch is the star. Jesse tries very hard to make it about him. We all know that.
Yeah.
And this, I guess, is technically about me, but it's really about my team. There is nothing that I get to do. And I love my job, man. I love writing. I love our show. I love talking to all of our different shows. I am really blessed to do this for a living, and this is season number 29 for me. But there's nothing that I get to do more, that I love more than coaching. Not just my girls, but our teams that I've gotten to coach. And this was the last season of softball for Sydney. So I got to coach her one last time and her team. And the Cardinals on Wednesday night won the league championship. Where they win in the final game. We finished with 1 loss on the season. It happened to be the game that I wore my shirt that said, I just hope both teams have fun. So I don't wear that to games anymore. Shirt. That's me. Yeah. You would know, 4th place finisher. So yeah. I just wanted to give a shout out to the 11 girls on our team who overcame the incredibly mediocre coaching to win a championship. Elena, Addison, Bryn, Evie, Kemper, Kinley, Nora, Reagan. We had 2 Reagans on our team. Sadie and Sydney. And those are alphabetical, so my daughter ended up last on the list. But it was really fun. I am a huge believer that you can both push them and have fun at the same time and put fun in the fundamentals. And they were absolutely fantastic. Really talented girls who they were really easy to coach. And we had a great time and ate a lot of ice cream after games. I took that page out of Shaka Smart's milkshake book, and I'm really going to miss them. So it was really fun to be able to do that. And I just wanted to give the girls a shout out because they were awesome. And that is my Feel Good Friday, painted by Hallman Lindsay Paints. It's been a Feel Good Friday all Friday long because of Matt Hamilton and Hunter Vaughn, our cousin subs of the day. I thank you guys, and I thank everybody who came along for the ride with us today. More from Packers practice as we roll on. You can check out ESPNWisconsin.com and hear us throughout the day. Thanks for coming along for the ride with us. Have a great day. Take care. Be good.
Miss any of today's episode of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin? Commercial-free full show podcasts are available free on Wisconsin On Demand.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tosher here for my friends at Kohler Services. If you need a bath or shower remodel, turn to Kohler Services. Family-owned business for 150 years, Kohler is your Wisconsin manufacturer